No, we're not.
But real quick, guys, I just need to discuss a few things after the podcast, just for like 5 minutes, if that's okay with you guys.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. No, we're live now.
What has Windows 11 done to my computer? I reverted back to Windows 10, but I'm still having all the weird glitchy crap that happened when I got Windows 11.
Yeah, once you upgrade, I've noticed, Wave, like you can't go back. It just seems to never work. I don't know why. It's so very annoying.
They don't want you to.
The downgrade's
they're
a
not.
lie. They just reskin it, but it's still Windows 11.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be fucking surprised.
It's actually the same thing that they do with the phones now, which is like they update your phone so that the old versions of the phones don't work as well with the new updates. So
Oh,
you're
yeah.
forced into getting a new version of the phone.
Classic Apple.
It's classic.
Why would they build them to last when they have a new one every year?
Hey,
It's smart if you think about it.
welcome everybody to the Guys and Guys podcast. I am Ryan. Welcome, welcome to the Guys and Guys Japanese News podcast, where we talk about Japanese music and other music-related things. Saved it. Today we are
Right.
talking about Nemophila, TRiDENT. We got some Spotify scandal to discuss, and security being aggressive with fans, and much, much more on this show. Today we're sponsored by ourselves. Check out our merch and join our newsletter for alerts when we post Japanese music news articles. How is everybody doing today?
That was a tantalizing intro.
Oh yeah, man.
Very nicely job.
Thanks.
Very
Tantalizing
I can't talk.
vocabulary you got right there.
I like the
Right.
word tantalizing.
Dude, I saw it on
Tantalizing.
a seasoning. What are those things called? That seasoning comes in?
I don't know, but that motion's going to be used in a GIF later.
Somebody use that as a GIF.
Put whatever topic we want on there, as long as it.
It's like some Greek seasoning that said tantalizingly delicious.
Is that what
Tantalizing.
you call it, Wave? Greek seasoning?
I
Yeah.
honestly don't even know what the word means. So I feel like I could use it in a sentence, but have no idea what the definition is.
It's whatever motion Wave was making earlier.
There you go.
Yeah.
So it's
Let's
very
go with that.
masturbatory.
Wow, getting off to a good start here, guys.
This is a great start.
How was your
I need-
week,
I need
Wave?
Mer.
Wave.
That's you.
That's my
Uh,
name.
You guys have thrown me a curveball having me start. I
know.
usually don't start thinking about what I'm going to say until you guys are talking.
I know, that's why I said you first. It's always fun.
Let's see. I did a live stream, and
Did you
oh,
hear any new music?
yes, I did. And I've also been working on new music. That's why, because I've been like, you know how when you're working on music, you kind of like escape into a different universe, and
Yep.
like time just disappears and you don't remember what happened. So that's kind of what's been going on this week. Really trying to finish my new project before the baby's here. So that's been my main focus lately.
Cool.
You got a
What's
name
the
for it yet?
I don't have a name for the album.
What about
What
the
about
baby?
name for the baby?
Oh,
I was wondering which one you meant too.
Yeah.
yes, River.
River. Ooh,
Yeah.
you've been watching Firefly lately?
No,
Oh, okay.
What's
Been
that?
playing Cyberpunk 2077 lately?
no.
Been watching
Alright.
Doctor Who?
We're just gonna name things where we know people from named River are.
Oh,
Yeah, it's literally because Rosie's grandpa loved the river.
Very
So
cool.
yeah, I mean we live on the Mississippi River, so it's kind of a big part of our lives.
Lots of
nice.
meaning behind it. I like that. River Potter.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
All right.
Champ,
Me?
what's going on with you? Besides
Oh,
looking
me?
like you
I'm
belong
not
in
used
Hollywood.
to going second.
I'm not used to going
Oh,
second,
We're
man.
throwing-
I don't
we're
do
throwing
this
things
shit.
into chaos today.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Nothing new. I
What are
like.
you
I
doing
could.
besides looking sharp.
I'm wearing pajamas right now, brother.
I know. I love the
it's
red
it's
flannel.
amazing how much sunglasses can change a vibe, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
fucking crazy. Yeah, man. No, I got nothing for you today. Like last week, I've been boring you guys with my job hunt lately, and that's just still what I'm doing. So
Did you get a
Job
job?
Yeah.
hunt, man.
You
I've
suck at
got.
job hunting.
Oh, I'm so bad at it. I guess, bro. I'm convinced that they are all taking interviews and then taking my application and throwing it in a big stack of other applications, just like to wait for when they actually want to hire somebody.
Yeah.
I
You know
got
what
I got
mean?
a question. I got a question. So, would you guys hire Champ? Ryan.
Would I for what?
That's a good question. Yeah, I don't know if I would hire Champ
Ryan.
depending on what the job is.
All right, so
So
we're
no
interviewing
potential
Champ.
no potential bosses are watching the podcast.
All right, so you got to do the camera setup for Ryan. Okay, Ryan's interviewing you.
Huh?
I think he wants you to do a mock interview right now. with me,
He's
but
like, I don't even want to do an interview.
I don't want to do the interviews I have to do. Why are you making me do
questions-
them extra?
what
So
qualities
what
do
are
you
you, what
bring
are your
to the
best
table?
qualities? What's the best qualities you bring to the job, Champ?
Honesty, and
What's your worst qualities?
lack of honesty.
I just work too damn hard sometimes. That's why I had to tell people that stupid question. What's your worst?
I work too hard and I care too much.
What's the most common question you've been getting asked during these interviews, Champ? Oh, we lost him. I was kind of curious about that.
He just
I was really
quit.
curious.
He quit
There
the
you go.
podcast.
Reliability
We quit.
seems to be an issue.
That's a real weakness.
He'll just nope the fuck out of there whenever he feels like it.
I don't think this is
Oh, there
gonna
he
even
is.
end up in the pile.
Oh, there
I
it is.
said, "Fuck these interviews. I'm not doing any more of this bullshit, bro." Even my internet is tired of it. So I
can
don't
see
want to
why
do
you're
it
having a
anymore.
good job.
Oh,
What's the
man.
most common question you've been getting asked? I'm just
What?
curious. What's the
The-
number one question you've been asked at all your interviews?
Why do you want to leave the current job that you're at? It's the first thing that they all ask first.
Stupid dude. I hate that.
And
stupid
I
shit.
give them the same answer every time, which is the ceiling is low where I am now, and I want to go somewhere that I could go through it. And
Hey, that's a
they
good
all
answer.
like that, they say. But
Well,
it's still
obviously it's
fine.
not working. You got to change it up, dude.
I don't think any of this is real, bro. I don't even know how much I believe in the system that is in place right now.
This job
know,
is a
like-
simulation.
Yeah, like I don't even know if any of these like potential interviews, right, are real interviews or if they're
Right.
just stockpiling for the future for when they need something, So that it's just a pain in the balls. But whatever. I don't want
It's
to bore you guys with
frustrating.
this
Is
shit
what
anymore.
it sounds like. It's very frustrating.
It's just like a daily thing, I'm doing these
Yeah.
interviews like every other day or whatever, and I just wait. They just say, okay, you got to wait now, and then I'm doing like 5 more, so I got like 11 of them in place right now, and you're
follow
just waiting.
up?
There
you
is no
follow up?
follow up, not through the system that they're using with these like
Oh.
headhunters. So it's like
Oh.
I don't know the last time you actually like had to actively like look for a job that was like a high paying job like in a field that you have experience in, but like they do not. You don't just like call them up anymore and be like, "Hey, I'm looking for a job. Can I come in and interview with you?" No, they're like, first you're going to send us an email, then we're going to do like a middleman interview over the phone or through
Yeah,
Zoom, and then we're going to set up the in-person interview, and you just got to wait for all this stuff to go through, and it's like,
Yeah, I did that,
It's
but I got
all- it's just-
hired. So
That's why when all this fails and I got to go find a job, I'm just going to go to fucking Taco Bell. Be like, hey, you got a sign that says you're hiring. I'm here. And I'm
When
hungry.
all this fails,
I
had
used
to
to
do that
work
for
here
love.
30 years ago. Could I get my job back?
probably still the same.
like the Benjamin Button of jobs.
I have to work here because they're so goddamn expensive now. I can't go out and buy it. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh, Taco Bell.
Alan, how's your week been?
It's been interesting road,
Fine.
but It's going great, man. Like we have making a lot of connections with setting up like future tours with Dichotic, which is really cool.
Nice.
And it's gonna be awesome. Looking like Denver, Colorado, probably be like one of the first cities we're gonna be able to play with this band. So it's been really cool, like just meeting new people and stuff out on the road. And shout out to everybody that's been coming to the venues, say hi and stuff. Appreciate you. It's been fun talking to some of you guys. It's been really cool. These 2 Pennsylvania shows have been the best though. They've been the best venues so far. A really good crowd, and the band that's playing Source, they're good. They're really good. They have a whole light show set up and stuff now. They do all DIY, and it's really fascinating to learn how to like program all those lights and everything with all the sound triggers and everything. And I've been learning a shit ton, and that was the whole point of me doing this. Not only because I need money, but also because I wanted to see how other bands are doing stuff.
Yeah.
And something that's shocking is, man, the bar's pretty low, which is kind of shocking. I thought I would see a lot more bands like stepping it up far as like having an in-ear monitoring system like this band has. And I thought there would be a lot of bands like this, but they like shine through. But it's been really weird. It's like the music's been really weird. So it's interesting seeing like what's kind of going around the US. Maybe it's just because of the band that I'm traveling with. They're attracting different types of bands. But it's been very interesting. Not the greatest sounding stuff, but some of the stuff sounds really good. But you can tell that a lot of them need like that audio help. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
With like setting up their mixes. And that's the biggest issue because Source has that all figured out. So they sound amazing. So I hear a lot of bands with potential, and their biggest thing is having a good audio engineer to help them. And so if you guys know anybody that wants to get into audio engineering is definitely in need, because what you could do to get jobs easily is go up to these bands and be like, hey, I can help you with your sound. Because they need help. They really do. It's not like in Japan where you see how everybody's helping them with the sound and stuff. Like the bands here are all fending for themselves pretty much. And they're pretty much hoping that the other bands that are playing with them help them, which with this band, they're really supportive of the opening acts. Like we sit there, we watch every single band play, whether they're good or bad. And just to show the support and the bodies there, we try to help them with their setups and stuff. But so that insight is pretty fascinating. And so it's been pretty cool to help out bands and see like light bulb moments for some of them go like, oh shit, I didn't know you could do it like that or do this. So that's been interesting. Just meeting people going through that. So I'm hoping today to work on videos finally to catch up because I haven't, probably gonna be a little low on the YouTube posting. But later on today, I'm doing another podcast to talk about the Babymetal interview. We finally got the interview posted. You guys should check it out. For those who have already checked it out, I really appreciate you all because it's opening a lot more doors for us with other bands. I think it's at almost 70,000 views. So shout out to you watching it.
Yeah, I checked it yesterday. It was like 57,000. I was wondering where it was today.
Nice.
Yeah. And I think I'm so happy that they allowed the questions that they did for that interview. And I love how we were able to keep parts of it uncut. So you get the raw organic thing from Babymetal, which is really hard to find. And
yeah, I was surprised they gave approval for that, right?
Yeah.
As it was, I was surprised because there's a couple where I think Momo's kind of stopping to think about what to say or whatever. It's kind of neat to see just,
maybe
what was I going to say?
They're trying something new.
Well, what I want to say to add to what Ryan said was it's cool that they allowed that because they can see there's like 700 comments, people saying, I love that you guys didn't cut it out. And I really hope Amuse and the upper management see that so they can finally like have that click for them to realize, oh, they want this authentic interview, not this like, polished up thing. Yeah. So hopefully they realize that and they keep making it more organic because it was cool to see them all laughing with each other, watching the interview breathe. And I thought, and shout out to Joe for cutting in some of the fans' comments about the band, which was really awesome. I thought that was a nice touch. Him and I went back and forth with the editing. I know the intro was a little weird. I told him to shorten that down. It was a lot longer. I'm like, dude, we got to cut it down. But it was cool. It was cool. So super appreciative, Joe, for letting me work with him on that. So, and I'm just happy that they like allowed it to go through and we were able to put up. And then tonight,
good interview.
Yeah, tonight him and I are going to talk about the behind the scenes. If you guys want to check that out, just set your notification up on the channel, and then we'll let you know when that goes live. And we're going to talk about the behind the scenes and stuff, what we can talk about. We just going to talk about it before because we had to wait for approval and everything. Now that we got it, it's there. So,
Oh man.
and if you've already watched it, watch it again. And if you haven't commented, just put a comment, put a heart. So, but it's their most engaging video, so that's cool to see.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah. So I'll be helping them with more media production and promoting, which is awesome. It's a cool little thing. All right, that's it. Yeah, that was my week.
All right.
One more week of the tour left.
Speaking of the bands fending for themselves that you were talking about earlier, sounds like Spotify is screwing over some smaller artists.
Yeah.
Yeah, myself included.
Oh,
Not
really?
that I was getting anything from it anyway.
They took away your 3 cents a year.
Right.
Well,
is that the gist of it? If you don't get enough plays, you're just not going to get any royalties.
Yeah, so basically artists have to hit a minimum number of streams before they'll get paid anything, and whatever.
What is the number?
That's a good question. I don't know if they've been transparent about that yet. But
okay. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
It sounds like the money that is earned through the ads or whatever from the smaller artists is getting sent into a pool that gets like divided between. It's called Spotify's stream share pool that gets paid out to other bigger artists, like split between them
because they really need it.
Yeah.
Fucking dumb, dude.
So yeah, I thought that was like the biggest slap in the face to indie artists, because the only people who can hit these numbers without getting some support is people who are on a major label that can pay for these massive advertising budgets and stuff.
Well, here it says here in the top of the article, in this scenario, a track would have to earn 5 cents per month in order to be paid, or as they estimated, about 200 streams per year, which is very low.
Yeah.
Honestly, I might even, I don't think I would get that.
200 streams is pretty doable.
Yeah, so it's not cutting out everybody, but what's the point of that shit? Really?
Yeah.
Is that really cutting so much into the people that are getting 5 million streams a year, or a day, or whatever the fuck?
I wonder if Spotify's hurting, because it sounds like, because it's split between so many, because there's the majority of artists on Spotify are getting less than that. I mean, I have like 5 listeners a month. I'm not hitting 200 streams a year, I don't think.
Yeah.
So
go ahead.
So the money that adds up over time is still pretty astronomical. And I just can't get over the fact that it's being diverted to bigger artists that are already doing well,
I guess Diesel's doing the same shit. Go ahead.
I want to say this for people that are building audience online. I think it's cool to release your music through these platforms, just as another way for people to listen. And what I would highly recommend to anybody is to just set up a digital product kind of thing on your website for your album, and just be like, hey guys, I'd prefer if you guys just buy it through here. You know what I mean? Because if you have a good presence on social media, I would just be like, hey guys, you want to support the music? Buy my album off my site. You get the actual physical copy. You can throw it on your phone afterwards, and then bam, you're getting the upfront cost of all the songs, and that'll be the best way for indie artists to go about it if they keep doing this shit. Or some people are gonna get so pissed where they're like, well, fuck this. I'm not gonna release anything through another label or anything. I'm just gonna release it on my own website, because that would be also a way you could do it too, and just release it through YouTube only. So they're gonna fuck themselves if they raise that 200 streams a year any higher, because people are just gonna get pissed and they're like, well, I'll just do it myself, because that's what the culture is going towards anyways. Everyone's just doing it themselves,
Yeah.
So
I'm curious, because you do have to pay to get distributed on those larger platforms. So does any of that money that you pay to get distributed go to Spotify, or is that just to the distributor and they get it on for free?
It's normally to DistroKid. So that's why everyone's like, it's crazy to have a label these days because it's just more people taking their cut. So if you do it yourself, they take that upfront cost for using their platform and releasing it to them. And those companies make their cut once people listen to your song on their
Oh,
platforms. That's how it works.
so they don't have to actually pay Spotify to get the music published on there?
I don't know. That's a good question. I think the fact that they can use the music for free without any consequences is
Oh,
like the benefit of it. I'm pretty
okay.
sure it doesn't work like that. So they pay to publish it, and those companies will make money off of the revenue stream via advertising.
Looking at the last bit of this article, it says, right now, streams and revenue are effectively synonymous, but by this time next year, they will mean very different things, wrote music industry analyst Mark Mulligan. He argues that in this new system, smaller artists will be othered, their revenue becoming a new black box for the bigger artists to share between themselves. There's also an entire industry built around do-it-yourself artists based on the promise they will be paid for their work. Platforms like TuneCore, DistroKid, and CD Baby may have a harder sell in their hands if the number one music stream in the world has raised the bar on who gets paid. Spotify has not yet confirmed these plans. We're always evaluating how we can best serve artists and regularly discuss with partners ways to further platform integrity. So we do not have any news to share at this time. So it's something they were thinking about doing. It's not confirmed yet,
Yeah.
which is, I guess,
Yeah.
important.
And just to clarify about the website thing, Adam Young was mentioning about the YouTube. Yeah, you're gonna have to use
Finding an
YouTube. That is
audience.
what I would do. Yeah, I would build my audience through YouTube and then redirect to the website. Of course, that'd probably be the best way to do it. Yeah, it'd be almost impossible to get people on your website. You have to use the social media. You can use Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You'd have to use some kind of platform to get people to your actual site. But a lot of people already do that. A lot of them do.
Yeah. Well, and this is why, like, what you just read, Ryan, is why I thought it was cool that we were talking about this, because um, if it's not a final decision yet, if enough people complain about it online, and they get a backlash, maybe they won't actually do it.
Maybe.
You know,
We'll see.
so I think the article mentioned like it's a reverse Robin Hood thing, taken from the poor artists and given to the rich.
So how does it work now? Everybody is individualized?
It is weird because if like say you listen to, how's it work? If you listen to just one band all week, all you do is listen to their music, your plays or how's it work? The revenue from that doesn't just go to that band. It still gets split up between all of Spotify. So the fuckers that are getting 5 million a month, they're still getting part of your streams from this band that you listen to just on its own, which is bullshit.
Mhm.
It'd be nice if I stream a band for a month and it's all I listen to, if they got all those like credit for it, but they don't. It gets distributed through everything. So whoever's making the most is already getting some of everything anyway, and they're just going to make it even worse if they do this.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know really. I don't really see a massive difference in what they would be changing then if that's the case. It's just,
I mean, you never made money anyways off Spotify. Even like with me, I had like 30,000 listens on Phoenix and barely I got $20.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
that's the
It's
thing.
like
It's like
it's
a third of a cent per listen, I think. Is
right.
what-
So it sounds like it's already going into the pool of Spotify artists, and the change would essentially make the pool deeper at the top and a little more shallow at the bottom, but realistically probably isn't going to change much of anything except for maybe that one position, right, where you are on the cusp of becoming big but you're still small. Maybe those people are going to be affected negatively, but the people that are already not making a lot of money on Spotify, I don't think this is going to change anything for them.
Yeah, they're not relying on it anyway. Huh?
practically it's really not. It's not a big deal, but it's like, it's just like you said before. Why?
Yeah, I think that the issue is more conceptually, and the slippery slope argument, right? If they're going to start doing stuff like this, what's going to stop them from continuing in the same direction until it gets to a point where it is just that 1% is
Do you
even worse than it already was.
guys, I got a question for you to add to this. When they keep doing this to artists and to musicians and stuff like this, they keep doing this kind of fuckery with their money and making it more difficult to make a living off of it. Don't you guys think that kind of might be another reason why like the music industry is so hurt in the US, or like it kind of demotivates people from wanting to put investment and time to do music because they're like, I'm going to put in all this fucking work. I got to pay thousands of dollars for the equipment to record it, to put it out. And granted, you have to write a good song. Let's be real here.
Yeah.
Not everyone's writing great songs. A lot of the songs are trash.
Thousands of hours of actually learning your craft and
Yeah.
getting
There's no
good.
incentive to get better at it. Right? I feel like you're just taking the incentive away to get better at it. Because like if there was a good incentive to release music, let's say you're getting paid fairly, right? And you're getting paid fairly and you're still not doing well. Well, then obviously it's a you problem and you need to work on your music writing, get a song out that hopefully people will like to listen to. And then when that works, then okay, now you're getting paid for it. Now it's worth to make the risk. You know what I mean? To go that route. But my question is, do you guys think that'll like deter more people not to do music? That's what I feel like is gonna happen.
I don't know. I think it'll deter more people from trying to be a rock star, but I think if you're a good enough band, you can always get like a fan base. You know what I mean? If it's going to change from getting people to see you on a big platform to what we're seeing now anyway is like we're doing. We'd have multiple things we do, and the way we reach out to people is by doing other shit that's engaging. And you're going to have to keep it up. I mean, bands now, it used to be they were these weird entities that were up on a pedestal because they were untouchable, and now you talk to the artist, man. Like I've been reaching out to artists and getting feedback and like talking to them. It's nuts.
It's freaking cool.
And it's kind of, if you're a straight up introvert musician, you're kind of fucked because you got to be able to deal with people and not dealing with them like being famous, just on a more personal level, which is
you got to have people skills.
Yeah.
You got to start, especially in person, you can't be off-putting or kind of just weary about things. I mean, good example. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say there's a good example already on this tour. We've already had a couple moments with band interactions where like they either ignored the singer and we're like, okay, and they're like the main band that's playing, and we're like, that just looks really bad on you. For instance, we had a parking spot reserved right for the venue, so we pulled up and this band like blocked it, and this lead singer just started fighting with us. They're like, well, we can't park anywhere because we got a ticket. See, stuff like that is what you got to be weary about it, because now that person ruined everything for the entire band. Because even now, when I go back to the van, I'm going to hear something about the the singer being pissed off about that one band. Like, it's going to stick with us that they're assholes, stuff like that. You got to be very, very careful and personable, because like the bad moments will stick with people.
Yeah. And that person, if it's me showing up at a concert and just like being a dick to one dude, but that dude knows 300 other dudes are at the show or whatever, you know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you just gotta, it'll get around fast.
Yeah, and already did with this one band, and they were a good band too. It's unfortunate. Like that sounded good, but now you have that thing in your head, like, oh, that person.
Yeah, I mean, you used to be able to be a superstar and be a complete freaking asshole.
Gee,
I mean, it's just a fact. Who's always brought up Axl Rose? The dude is an asshole, and he was one of the biggest rock stars in the world. Now, like, screw that guy.
Yeah, it doesn't work anymore.
I don't want to be an a-hole. I just want to not. I just want to sit in my studio and be an introvert, and like make music and then put it out and then make more music.
I mean, still, even if you're introverted, it's easier to communicate with people now, as all through online, whatever. You don't have to be a complete. It's not the same as going to a party.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I still do it. I just I'm such an introvert at heart. like when I'm in creative mode. So I'm like,
Yeah.
but like we were just talking about, you gotta to do it these days. You need to actually form
Well,
relationships with people.
no, or to go back at what Wave's doing, Wave can do it that way because there's other ways to do music these days. You can license instrumentals and original music to other companies that want to use it for videos. So there is platforms like that now where you could go that route. That's the cool thing about nowadays is you don't have to be the typical musician where you interact with people and go play. You can also be a producer. You also could be somebody that just makes songs, you know, and then people will be like, dude, I really like that song. Can I use it? Absolutely. And then you have like some fee or something like that. So the way that you're doing it, Wave, is totally possible. You can definitely go the route, not talking to people if you're doing it that way. But if you're one of the people that want to do like live performance and really garner audience, maybe the personable skills will work. But you're good at talking to people anyways, Wave. I've seen you interact with people. You're fine.
Yeah,
You may not like it.
I had to learn that over the past few years. Like when I was when I first turned 18, I literally had no friends when I was younger. Anyway,
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, like you said, I did the same thing. Wave had to learn how to do it. That's why I'm so happy I worked the service industry because that really teaches you how to get your shit together.
yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
Okay.
How are you doing, champ?
Great.
Okay.
Okay.
What do we got next?
Well, we got the stop booking heavy shows. We got some issues with some, I think it seems to be a confusion between the security at shows and how they expect attendees to act. Like they don't know the kind of band they're booking and how the crowd's going to be, so they freak out when they see them doing shit in a pit. But you know, like the crowd kind of really knows what they're doing.
Like like when Sue tells people to do the pit of death or whatever it's called. Wall of death.
Wall of death. Yeah. I know.
So what was there a situation, like a specific situation that took place?
Yeah.
So oh, go ahead.
Go ahead if you're gonna.
No, go ahead.
Well, there's a video that came up with Tank the Tech, who's very, very good about researching these things with his experience he has on the road and everything. And can't remember the name of the band. You remember the name of the band, Alan?
He has Romans.
Okay. So he's familiar with the band. He kind of knew what the crowd was going to be like. But so people start moshing, and the security is like grabbing people and hauling them out and just being very aggressive, and just they like ended up stopping the show. Like it got so bad that security, the venue, and the tour company like all were like, yeah, let's just shut down the show.
Yeah. So in We Came as Romans statement, they said during the Body Snatcher set, what an awesome name. Multiple attendees were wrongfully and aggressively dragged out of the venue. Some of our tour crew went outside to de-escalate the situation with security, as we had approved moshing and crowd surfing. So they approved it for this venue, because you guys will know some venues don't allow it at all. So they won't even play at certain venues that don't allow it. So you got to find a venue that is okay with that. And then with the venue security teams during the security brief earlier that day, so they had approval earlier that day, but the security team did not respond to it well at all. And I guess the situation just escalated further. So they continued alleging that even to the point of spitting in our crew's face, spitting on gear, threatening physical violence, and someone having to be physically restrained. From there, it was determined by the band and crew that the best move at that point was to cancel the show. So it ended up turning into them canceling shows.
Yeah,
who was spitting? The fans?
No, the security.
Yeah,
the security guards were spitting on the band's shit.
Yeah,
and they spit in the crew's face,
dude.
Like the band's crew face. Yeah. So there is a statement from Feet Music Hall. They issued a statement on October 22nd. They said, many of you have read or commented on the events that took place at Feet Music Hall Sunday, October 22nd. We do not feel that what has been presented is a fair representation of the event that evening. So they're fighting back on this. And they go on to say, we first want to start by apologizing to all the patrons who spent their hard-earned money on tickets to what should have been a fun night, catching their favorite bands. We are sorry for the night was cut short. But the thing is, they don't go into details. They just said it was a misrepresentation. So, but later on in the statement, I'm just going to kind of briefly go over this. You can read the whole thing on Loudwire. But on Sunday, members of our staff, a representative from our co-promoter and tour manager, had a routine security meeting addressing the game plan for the night. The club was staffed by 10 security personnel, more than adequate number for the size of the crowd anticipated. 3 at the main entrance, 1 backstage, 3 behind the barricade, and 3 floaters roaming in the ballroom. So we were, and they say in here that we were informed the moshing was to be expected and anticipated in a show like this. Not unlike many other shows of the same nature that have been at Feet, it was decided that security would first handle incidents with a focus on de-escalation. So I don't know. Like in the statement, they're just saying they're aware of it also. I don't know why it turned into security going that crazy. But later on it says, unfortunately, during the body snatcher set, the patron who had received multiple warnings became involved in another altercation with other attendees. So maybe one person just like started it off and it just escalated to a crazy thing. It's just weird. So they're saying they were in the wrong and the band's saying they weren't. I don't know if you got more information on it, Ryan, but
Yikes.
it's a huge statement that I put out.
Yeah, I'd be curious to hear like actual people talking about it that were there, because it seems like a lot of hearsay and like who do you believe?
It seems like the venue
Yeah.
just hired horrible people to try and do security. Right.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like if they were
that's
really
so
security people, they'd
unprofessional.
be. These guys are power tripping. Like I have the authority to beat somebody's ass, and they're just doing it. Then to get into it with the bands and crew and all that. What the fuck?
Yeah. Spitting in crew's face is like, that's ridiculous. That your whole point of security is to de-escalate, you know?
Yeah.
So that's crazy.
You know those kids in high school that got bullied all the time, and then finally they got out of high school, so they decided to become a cop so they could bully you
Yeah.
too.
Mm.
That's these guys that couldn't even
Right.
get the
They
job as a
couldn't.
cop.
Yeah.
They ended up becoming a security guard.
Exactly right, man. Security. That's already.
They failed police academy. Yeah. Dude, that's true. There's some people that take security very serious. Just a little side note, I got to mention this. There's security at the Babymetal concert at Aftershock, and I thought it was so fucking cool because they were dancing to the music and actually
yeah?
enjoying it and just taking people out the crosser, and they're all smiling and like headbanging and like dancing to the Babymetal songs. I was like, this is so fucking cool. It's the coolest security I've ever seen. And they were like, no problem, just grabbing all the crowd surfers off that were going above our heads. It was pretty awesome. That's a good security team right there.
Yeah.
Aftershock had a great security team.
Like they've
I do
actually been to
find-
a concert before.
I do want to give like
Yeah.
a little bit of like
You're requiring it. You have to go to a
I just-
concert in order to do it. Sorry, Champ, go ahead.
I do think that they have a pretty tough job, because it's not like they're doing security at like the Met Gala. You know what I mean? Like they're doing security at like a metal concert where people are drinking, people are probably high, people are headbanging and feeling that, you know, kind of energy and stuff like that. And you know, it's probably a chance that like 5 people fucked with that first security guard first. You know what I mean? Like just like poking the bear. And then like one time he just fucking lost it. I mean, I'm not saying that that's what happened. I'm just saying that, like, you know, they don't have easy jobs, you know, so it's possible that they were pushed and got to that point. It's also possible that that's not the case. I'm just saying we should look at it from all
Yeah, I
angles.
love that you've just played 2 completely different sides.
Yeah, because I don't take sides, man. I'm just
You're just
throwing
an observer.
out the options. Yeah.
Interesting. Well, yeah. Don't spit in people's faces. That pretty much sums it up.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like that was the like it doesn't even matter what happened before that, right?
Yeah.
Because they fucked themselves over by, you know, fucking letting themselves get that low,
Exactly.
like that shitty of a person.
if they would have just handled the situation, let's say the fans were in the wrong and they were professional about it and did what they had to do and didn't spit like go to that escalation, now they would have looked way better for them. Now it just raises suspicion for everything. Now we don't know who's, like, I guess, in the wrong or whatnot at that point.
I mean, I think that when you're talking about wrong and right, ultimately, like, people make mistakes and people make wrong decisions, but it's about how you handle those wrong decisions and mistakes, and that's where, no matter how it started, the security team is still a failure because they ultimately let it get to the point that it got to.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, blame. There's always blame to go around, right? But blame is not always the main priority here, right? Like, it doesn't really matter who started it, who initiated it. It matters what happened and how it was handled. And it was obviously handled very poorly by that security team. So they can come out and they can blame whoever they want, and maybe they're right about it, but they still didn't do what a security team is supposed to do, which is make sure that people are not getting fucked with. Make sure the band is not getting fucked with while they're actively fucking with people.
That is so true.
Don't fuck with
Fine
them.
line.
Let me put it in your eye.
They're supposed to be the sober people there that make the rational decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. There's a lot of security I've seen that, like, they're definitely stoned out of their mind.
All right. Sweet.
I mean we shared some music with each other. Do you want to talk about that? Do you want to get to quick news, or what's up?
It's up to you, Ryan. What do you want to do,
Alright.
man?
Well, let's see. We got some. I'll go through the news here. Scandal. What's up with Scandal? They got as soon as this page loads, maybe it's not going to load. They have a new single out.
Hell yeah.
Loading.
Oh yeah.
Loading. What the fuck?
Their
Is that
29th
the one I
single.
heard? Or did it just come out?
So it just came out. So it's Scandal's 29th single and includes 2 songs. Title track highlights no Nakare Bakura Zuto was written and composed by the band's guitarist Mami. Arrangement was done by Fredo. And it was coupled with a second track called Candy.
Okay. Yeah,
What'd
I
you
remember
think,
we
Wave?
talked about this a couple weeks ago.
Oh, this is the one that came out a few weeks ago?
Was it a few weeks ago?
October 3rd.
Oh.
The highlight.
Oh shit! I didn't know it was that old. Oh yeah, it was 3 weeks ago. Holy shit!
Yeah, I remember. I liked this one a lot, quite a bit actually. Nice mature sound from them.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, I did. I listened to this one on Friday.
Yeah, what'd you think?
I like it. Like, I really like their new sound. I think it was interesting because the thing that stuck out to me is it sampling from different parts of their sound, like, over the years. Like, it felt like it had the rock sound, but it also had like the more I don't know. I'm the worst with genres. I don't know how to describe genres. It felt like
It was like an all-star. It was like the all-star cast version of their music, right?
Yeah.
Like they took like
there you go.
They took like the
Uh-oh.
Oh, we lost him.
Champ froze.
Anyways, you got the article up now, Ryan? If you wanna.
No, it wouldn't friggin' load, man. I don't know why. I just had it up a second ago.
It sounded like Champ had something really interesting to say too. What the heck?
But yeah, check out that. What other releases? We had Babymetal release their live Maya song. Live Blu-ray DVD, so they put that up.
Nice.
That's off of Black Knight, so that's pretty cool. They just released it on their website 5 days ago.
Cool.
Yeah. Saiseiga's got a release. They just put a song out 2 days ago. So I got my Saiseiga shirt on.
Nice.
Pretty awesome shirt.
What did you think of the song?
I loved it, man. This band, it's called Sports.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, dude. I mean, did everybody get a chance to listen to it?
Yeah.
The Saiseiga one?
Yeah.
I didn't yet, unfortunately.
No. It does what Saiseiga does, man. It's just Reën is the singer, and she has a great clean voice, and she has one of the most guttural voices I've ever heard from a woman, dude. It's amazing. But it's just a massive song. They just deliver every time.
Oh yeah,
Anybody
and
else?
then they have a live version too of it, of sports on their channel. But I'm trying to find the full music video. That's why I didn't listen to it, because it was only like a 40-second thing.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
Was
think
that what you're talking
the
there's a
song's
full music video
on
yet.
YouTube Music. The whole song's on there.
Yeah, I'm sorry guys, I messed up. I
Yeah,
should
her
have.
voice is insane on that.
Oh, I love it, dude. And
I do like her
live,
voice.
and she does that shit live too. It's like, what?
Oh, that's
She-
right. You saw them.
Yeah, and she,
Yeah,
man,
he's
for
live.
for a front one, she is amazing. She just gets a crowd going, and you're just watching her the whole time, and she will catch your eye, and she will dead stare you until you react. It's like she won't look away until you acknowledge what's going on. It's awesome. It's like, all
Yeah.
right, yeah,
That's
fucking
good
rock it out. Yeah, very cool.
Look champ in the eye until he reacts. Right.
Whoa.
Let's look at the camera.
that was creepy, dude.
Yeah.
Felt like a horror movie just then.
Well,
Tis the season.
I guess let's talk about these songs. You guys make any notes?
Yep.
Talk about who we talked
do it.
about.
All right.
There was, how do you say? Is it Reën? Reën?
Reën?
Well,
I
it
don't
looks
know
like
how you
Reën,
say
but I don't
that.
think it's Reën. Reën.
Yeah, this was one that I heard on my live stream this week.
Okay.
And so they're sitting around, or when I watched them, they were around like 250 subs. And I just thought she had a really cool voice, but I'm interested to know what you guys thought.
I think initially I was like, this is all right. But then the song kind of went on and it developed, more. Like not quite heavy, but there is a little bit of, there's a little bit of distorted guitar in there. It got interesting. But yeah, I'd be curious to see a little more too.
All about the vocals. All about the vocals for me. I thought, the song was fine. Like kind of slow, kind of very melodic, very piano heavy. But her vocals were very unique. I'm about to compare her to somebody, which makes it seem less unique, but I don't mean to make it come off that way.
Can't wait to hear
You're
it.
unique, but she sounds exactly like this.
Yeah, right. She
Do it.
kind of reminded me, not necessarily the sound of her voice, but like the style that she was singing of. You guys remember Malay? She did that song with Man with a Mission that was on our chart for like 4,000 weeks.
Yeah.
She had that kind of vibe, especially
Still on
with
the
when
charts.
she wanted to go into that vibrato, which she didn't do all the time, but when she wanted to, it was that thick, heavy, really wavy vibrato, the one that you hear with like Wagaki Band a lot.
That's what I said in my reaction. Like she reminded me of the Wagaki Band singer.
Yeah, but she's obviously very, very talented. I would like to hear more from, what they do in general. Cause I do think like, I don't know if that was like a slow song for them or if that's just like generally the vibe that they give off as band.
Yeah.
But clearly with the amount of talent that the singer has, you can only go up.
Yeah. I was kind of like, I was shocked that they were sitting at 250 because I went back in their history a little bit, just looked at their channel, and they've been on YouTube for a while, and they have a few different music videos. But I'm hoping that they, at least get a few thousand subs, so they can monetize their music. Because I think
what were they at now?
Potential. I don't know.
So they're real young. They're a real young band.
Well,
1,300 it looks like.
Wait, what?
1,300.
They're subs?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. They must. I'm trying to find their channel.
There must be a couple of them looked up like that.
It keeps showing me Reën.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll find it while you guys talk. Hold on a sec.
Reen.
Yeah, but there's several things that are spelled like that, so it brings up all sorts of stuff.
Oh, okay. The playlist is in the
Oh,
chat
yeah.
too, guys.
Go
If
back
you
to
guys
the
want to check
link.
it out.
Ah,
And that link will take you right to the songs that we're talking about today.
That's true.
why can't I?
All right, I found it. So they have 260 subs. The video has 1,300 views on it.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Cool.
They got some more then. That's good.
Oh yeah.
What was the other song you suggested we check out? Was that Trident?
Oh, Trident. Wait, what? No, you suggested Trident.
I suggested Trident.
Okay. Yes.
All right.
What was the other song?
Atarashii
some reason-
Gakko.
Yes. Oh,
Tokyo
yes.
Calling.
Tokyo
Yeah.
Calling.
Tokyo Calling.
Guys, I'm the only pothead here. How come I'm the only one that can remember anything?
I didn't
How do
write
you
that
know
one down
that?
because I'd already seen it. I wrote it down the other ones. My bad. So what'd you think of that, Wave? Tokyo Calling.
That was a really cool music video.
Oh, yeah,
a
like the
badass video.
Godzilla set there.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it was a bop. Like, I watched the music video first, and I was like, I had such a great time with the video, but then I listened to it in the car later to like see, was it just the music video that
Yeah.
got me? Because their personalities are so great. But no, dude, the song itself, it stood on its own as just like such a great song. Even Rosie liked it.
Yeah. I agree. When I listened to it right before we got together for the show today, and I opted to just listen to the track instead of watching the video for the same reason, because the video is incredible and their choreography is so freaking cool. There's a couple moments in that video where it's just like that, right? The moment that came up right there.
Showed.
Thank you, Andrew. It was like one of the most hypnotizing moments. But then just listening to it without the video was still really, really good. So they figured something out, man.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah,
it was a
it's-
really unique sound. Sorry.
The
Alan.
video was super fucking unique. It is a very unique sound. I just can't get into it for some reason. I still don't know why. I've tried with this group. Like, I respect it. It like the overall sound. I like what they're doing. It's so new. It's so fresh. I've never heard anything like it. I can't even try to compare it. And the music video was just so fucking creative. So I respect the hell of it. I couldn't get into the song. But maybe I'll end up liking it. I'll have to listen to it again. I've listened to it twice. I'm like just trying to. The music structure is so interesting, like because they have this electronic element going on, and I like the dances because they're so quirky. Like it's fun. Like when I watch the video, it's fun. If I'm being honest, the audio came on, I'd probably be like, "What is this?" and change it. But the video helped me out actually because I enjoyed it so much. So I respect what they're doing, and this is obviously working really well. And
It
it's
sounds
doing
like
well.
you like it. You just don't want to say it.
I
Because
like the video.
the way you talk about it, you like the fucking song, you like the video.
I don't know. I don't know.
There's not enough guitar in it though.
There's no guitar in it.
No,
So
it's not because of that. It's not because of the no guitar.
I think Alan's going through what I mentioned last week, where it's like you could either, as a musician, you could either respect the song, you could like the song, or you could both. And I hear the respect, but not the like.
Yeah,
That's
that's
just
fair
so.
enough.
I really respect it because it's so brilliant. The video. I was like, this is so.
How do you think they did that? You think they built a model city, like a small model city?
No, it looks so clean. Whatever they did, it could be just green screen.
And it's outside. Like they have the sun and they have the lens flare.
I've been geeking out about special effects and watching the Corridor Crew a lot, and I was like, during my reaction to it, I'm like, oh, what are they? This blah blah blah. The last part of it, they go walking off the screen. You can see the wires shaking. I'm like, okay, that's a model. They legit made a model that they're in.
Yeah.
But they got to have a background shot too.
Yeah.
Or it could just be the damn city. They could have
Well, it could be
outside.
I mean, could it not be a green screen?
It
It
could
could
be,
be
but the
green
way-
screen and models. Maybe.
Well,
way
that's what I
they're-
thought they did.
The way their hands interact and block the sun and the shadows, everything else is like they're legit using the sun. I do want to see like behind the scenes and know how they did it because it's really, really fucking good.
So I will say that like I've seen like Blackpink, for example, use a fake sun also to get the same sort of like shadow thing, where they just kind of
shadow.
you can.
I know.
But I thought I thought that no matter what they did, I mean, like they had to build like the city was like 4 feet tall, right? Like it's even taller than some of them actually on some parts. So that city is literally like looking at that right now. I mean, we're talking like 6 feet tall at the bare minimum
Yeah.
for some of those buildings.
And
That is
have
like
room for them to dance, but make it still look continuous.
that's an
Yeah.
expensive
I
ass
think
project.
it's probably as practical as possible because the less effects you use nowadays, it seems like the less you have to fuck with the image, the better.
Yeah.
But the best effects are the ones you don't notice, you know. So yeah,
Mhm.
I'd be really curious to see how they did it.
Right, Ryan? And I think that's why it's brilliant because you know they're doing special effects, but if you're just like looking at it without thinking about it, you're like, this is really
It
fucking
looks
cool.
great, man.
It looks great. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just it goes back to what my teacher said when I was doing audio engineering. He's like, make sure you do it right on the first time so you don't have to edit a lot later. It's
Yeah,
the same thing with video. And that's what I feel like is going on there.
Yeah, whatever you can capture in camera,
Yep.
the more the better.
Yeah.
Right on.
I gotta say, I fall on closer to Alan's side on the song itself, though.
I can't get into the song. I don't know why.
I watched it with my son. You know, I made him sit down and watch all the songs that we were listening to today with me, and I was like, all right, let's see how we feel about this new Atarashii Gakko song. And I didn't say anything. I let him give the first impression, right, to see what he was going to say afterwards. And he said, you know, it's kind of the same thing over and over again. I said, what do you mean? And he was like, well, they just keep doing that part, you know. And he was talking about the chorus, that repeated lines or whatever that they're doing. And I was like, yeah, you're kind of right. And then, you know, the lack of the guitar, which just for me personally, a little bit of a bummer, but I could deal with. But I didn't
Is this going to
really
turn
feel
into throwing your son under the bus like every song you don't like?
I mean, I wasn't planning on it, but you're giving me a pretty good idea right now. Yeah, but like, but no, I responded to him by saying, like, I don't necessarily like songs that are super repetitive or super cyclical, right? Where it's like you got two parts and you just keep repeating those type of parts. And I felt like, and I've heard Atarashii Gakko songs that are just so incredibly deep, you know, and there's just so much going on musically speaking, where I just felt like this was, you know, they had their beat, they had their lines that they were saying, and that's kind of all there was to it. There was a bridge in there, I think, somewhere that was like pretty similar to the verses. But I've just heard them do so much more, just break out of the, like, it's a totally different genre of music that they were doing than most of their stuff. This was actually closer to like Pineapple Kryptonite, I guess,
Yeah,
than
so
it
it's
would
more
be to like some of their other stuff.
hip-hop.
Yeah, exactly. They had like a hip hop line in the chorus that they kept repeating, right? Like it was more
Like all
rap.
the
Yeah, I guess
verses.
so. Yeah, it was more rap than any. Was there even singing? Now that I'm trying to remember if they sang outside of the rap style like flows that they had in there. But yeah, I don't know.
really.
I feel like I've heard them do more. I don't want to say this creative because this was creative, but like more intricate stuff that I've appreciated more personally.
Fair enough.
And like you said, the genre of music, I don't know, not really my favorite style.
It's not my thing. But I
Whatever, it's
respect the
freaking
fuck
awesome.
out of it. I respect the fuck out of it.
Yeah, I respect it too.
Right on.
I would share it with someone. Like, how about that? Like, if somebody's like, "Hey, you want to see a crazy ass music video?"
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, I did find the dancing in the city to be hilarious. Also, like literally like monkey, like gorilla dancing, you know, like as if they were King Kong. Pretty funny.
Yeah,
somebody was saying in the comments, it is home of the Godzilla movies.
Yeah,
true, exactly.
for sure.
That's a good point.
It definitely
then.
had that whole vibe too. Also, I will just bring up. So I listened to the. I went back and I read the lyrics afterwards, and it was clearly like that the genre that they stuck in was made. The message was made for this genre, right? Like that, it wouldn't have worked exactly the same if they weren't going about, if they were doing like a rock song or whatever. Like this was the perfect way of like these almost chanting, especially at the end, almost like a marching band feel towards the end, where it's just like they were getting this message out in the way that they wanted to. So I appreciate that they kind of go with the genre that the message applies to most.
That's what I liked about the song, is that it wasn't trying to fit into a genre. It was just kind of going with whatever direction the song took them. You know, they just had that sound and they built the song around it. That's pretty cool.
Respectable. Not sure I would listen to it again.
Fair enough. Yeah.
All right.
That
Well,
makes
what's the
sense.
next? What's the next song that we listen to?
Trident.
What's next song?
Trident.
Ooh, Trident.
Yours, champ. Why did you feel like we needed to hear that?
Because I saw it pop up on my recommended on YouTube and went, "Hey, it's called Kick Ass. I wonder if it kicks ass." And then I sent it to you guys. It does. It kicks ass. I thought it was awesome. I was like, I think that they actually like based some of this off of the movie Kick Ass, right? Like the logos and some of the designs that they did. And stuff like that. It sounds a little bit like that. And I do think that there's like I went into this band like being told that first song that we all heard was like their best song like by far, and nothing else that they ever did was anything close to it. You guys know what song I'm talking about? I don't remember the title of it.
The Spoopy?
Spoopy. There
Oh,
it is,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So everyone was like, this is their best song. It doesn't get any better than this, right? And I'll tell you
It
what,
is.
man, as I go on listening to some of this stuff, like that song is still great, but
Right.
this song's like not that far away when we're talking about like quality wise. Like this is a really
I was
Go
just gonna say I agree with you, champ. I absolutely agree. This song was a kick-ass song. It was actually really good. It's still not better than Spoopy, but it's second for me.
Mhm.
Like I do enjoy the fuck out of the song. It's really, really awesome to listen to.
a lot of tempo changes, lots of good vibes, a lot of cool little guitar licks, cool transition moments. And I love this drummer. I don't remember what her name is.
Yeah.
But I think that she's really like smart. Like I think that what she chooses to do in certain areas are things that I'm not expecting to happen, even if it's for a short period of
Dude,
time.
and the bass tone, man. Did you hear that? I love
Oh.
how like you have those
The
nice,
middle, the
interesting
That
second
whole
verse.
second verse. Yeah.
The second verse, it's almost like a solo. It's almost like a
so
bass solo
awesome.
going the whole time. Yeah, it doesn't really repeat very much. Like it's a very clever song, man. Like I thought that this was maybe like as impressed musically as, again, Spoopy's awesome, but like for first listen, I was like, this was like really just a clever, smart song. And I think that like musician
think it
ears,
is.
it really got me up. Like it got my ears up.
Yeah. I agree. I think it is more clever than Spoopy. Spoopy was just a badass fucking song, well mixed, well produced. This one was also well mixed and produced, which I appreciate the fuck out of. But there's a lot of like musical nuance that's happening in this one. A lot more layers and stuff you can like lash onto. Like you listen to it one time, you hear something new every time.
Exactly.
You have a lot more going on.
Drummer's name is Nagisa.
Oh
Nagisa.
yes, that's right.
She
Then
killed
you
it in
also-
this one.
Yeah, you have Asaka as a guitarist, vocalist, and Serena is leader and the bassist.
Yeah, and as always, I got to give the singer a little bit of credit here, man, because she's like one of the few out there that are doing this music who just has that like natural rasp to her voice, and I love that, man. That's cool. It's like so uncommon for like especially in these Japanese female-led bands to have that like natural raspiness at the end of in their tone, just coming out naturally without trying to push it. You know what I mean? Like as much as I love like like Mayu, for example, like she pushes it into the scream. This girl never goes into the full scream. She just has this natural rasp when she's getting louder. And I think it sounds really cool. And it adds like this sort of impact to their music that doesn't exist in some other bands.
Yeah.
See, I want this as the direction for Trident, in my opinion. I really like how this song and Spoopy sound, and I wish they were along more in that genre. I know it's cool that they change genres and change things and everything, but part of me just wants them to lean into a sound to have their own
Yeah.
unique thing, kind of like
Kinda-
Band-Maid has
kinda hone
their
that.
unique thing. Yeah, hone that.
Sharpen the edge of that weapon.
Yeah, and I think they could be a force to reckon with, I think they'd be able to they would go places, like just focus on one of
Sure.
those. In
They
my
do-
opinion.
They do naturally have like something that I think is unique. And
Yeah.
I agree. I agree. Like I think this may be like an unpopular opinion for some people. out there, because I diversity is a big thing, right? When it comes to music and like your music catalog, you don't want to sound the same all the time. But I have found, like in my time going through the Japanese rock scene and stuff like that, that there's almost a little bit too much diversity in some of the bands for me, where I want, like, I really like the first 2 tracks that drop off an album, and I listen to that album and I want to hear more of that, and there's only like 1 or 2 more on the album that sounds like that.
I get what you're saying. This is what I want to say. This is what I consider it. It's like this. Like if Band-Maid plays a punk song, it still sounds Band-Maid doing punk, right?
Mhm.
Like kind of like that vibe. Like Avenged Sevenfold came out with their new album, completely different than their other albums, but it still sounds like Avenged Sevenfold, doing a different style. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that's where Trident's at. They're just doing all these different styles, and they're so amazing at it. Now it's time to have like, okay, this is the Trident sound, and then let's keep this Trident sound through whatever genres they're switching out through. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's kind of what I mean, like in that way.
I hear what you're saying. I think I might even, for myself personally, take it a bit further, where like I think that it's even, here's my best example, right? I've been trying to get my buddy into Nemophila. He loved Atabana, right? So he listened to Atabana. He was like, this is amazing. I love this song. Let's hear more. I didn't know what to show him next. I showed him Dissension. Wasn't a huge fan, right? I think I mentioned this last week. So I showed him a couple more songs. He didn't like Zen because it was too repetitive for him. He did not like Rise because it was too pop punky for him, I guess. And he really liked the ones where they leaned into the metalcore aspect, right? But like when we went through the tracks on their newest album, there's only like 3 metalcore songs on that album. Like there's a lot of other stuff. And for me, I love that because I'm cool with all those other genres that are in there. But for building like the new fans that like may have more specific interests, it's hard for them to wrap their head around multiple genres and on like a 12-song album.
And
people
that's sad
wanna know,
with
like what they're gonna get from the band,
Yeah.
and like not be disappointed when they listen to the next one.
Yeah, and that's the thing with like Nemophila. I think it would have worked better if they did like a full album in a certain style. But the cool thing with Nemophila though is with Mayu there, and all of them honestly, but it's Nemophila no matter what they do. They always have that flavor. But you're right. If they had like a consistent album, right, of a certain style, and then maybe on the next album they do something different, but it's all that something different in the second album, maybe. But then you get those fans that are like, I only like this album.
Or I'd
like
separate it just a little bit more. You know what I mean? Like whatever your main focus is, because this is how I kind of feel about it. Like whatever your main sort of focus is in the music scene, like your genre that you kind of is the basis for what your band is. If you're going to have like, let's say a 12-song album, right? Like maybe 7 of those tracks should be that. And then the other 5 do some stuff with, right? But if it's 12-song album and only 4 are that, and the other 8 are experimenting in different areas, then it might be a little weird. I'll say this about Dreamcatcher too. Wave, by the way, I watched a couple of your Dreamcatcher reactions the other day, and I saw that you reacted to their Japanese one that was like the really heavy metal one like a couple months ago, and you were like, holy shit, I didn't know that they could do this. It's so weird. Right? And I will say, like, I can say for them, like they come out, they drop their singles are all rock heavy, and then you listen to the rest of their album and there's a lot of experimental stuff going on the B-sides, where like I don't know if you are buying that album for that, if this is the first time that you've heard from that band.
I guess it depends on the fans. There's going to be some fans that love the different style of song. Like for me, Nemophila, I love that they do different genres all in one album, but I also realize I'm probably a minority in that.
Well, yeah, like with them, if you're already a fan of a big variety of music, then I think you're just cool with it. But if you have like Champ's friend, if he loves metalcore and you hear a song by them, it's what they really like, and then hear all the other shit, you're like, oh, it's like I can see. Like us, we listen to so much stuff that I'm down for whatever they do. But trying to bring someone else in who's very more specific in what they like, it would be hard sell for most of the bands we listen to.
Yeah, exactly. Like I listened to like all of the songs on that album, right? Like I like the pop punk one, I like the ballad, I like Style, which is like straight up a new metal song. You know what I mean? Like
I make playlists where it goes from thrash to fucking hip hop to blues,
Yeah.
to whatever. I like hearing a bunch of different shit. Some people just want to listen to one thing.
Right. And
Most
and
people
I
too.
Yeah.
most people exactly. So I'm again, I'm not really talking for myself. I'm talking for like what's going to
Yeah.
appeal to the majority. And I do think that like it's harder to get people in when the diversity in the tech catalog is that different from each other, which is why I do look back, Alan, you're absolutely right. Like Band-Maid, no matter what they do, like how they kind of lean into a different genre or whatever, it still sounds like Band-Maid. It's still like a rock and roll song every time, and
Yeah, because
I think
if you
that's
listen to-
kind of important for them maintaining their identity.
Yeah, because if you listen to World Domination, right, it's a certain flavor for the entire album, but it's still Band-Maid, right? And then you have Unseen World, different. It's completely different than World Domination. If you think about it, it's totally way more techy and progressive, the most really progressive hard rock, but it's still Band-Maid. Like you still, oh yeah, this sounds like
Yeah,
Band-Maid.
but it's
No matter
weird because
what.
those albums you could blend those albums and they still sit well with
You
they
could.
still sit well with each other.
Yeah, but there's definitely a specific sound to Unseen
yeah,
World and World Domination.
Yeah.
What's wow, Chemical Reaction might be one that you could interchange, maybe. Like, throw on World Domination.
You could put that song on any of their albums, I think.
Oh, what's the album after World Domination? I always forget the name of it for Band-Maid.
Conqueror?
Conqueror. That has
Yeah.
its own flavor too. Like
Yeah.
there's this like different kind of like ambience going on in that album. So
But I wouldn't say that there's like, well, yeah, to an extent. But I think that there's a lot of songs on Conqueror or World Domination that you could probably flip flop back and forth between the two of them.
yeah.
Unseen World specifically, and the newest album. I always forget what it's called. The one with Influencer on it. Unleash.
Unleash.
They don't really sound like each other, and they definitely follow a similar vibe. But I will say, like with Unleash specifically, I almost got a little bit too much of that vibe, where I missed a little bit of the part
You don't
from
know what you
Unseen
want,
World
champ.
where you go from manners to I want something in the middle, man. I want something,
Yeah,
I want something in the middle.
mid-tempo.
You don't have a
I want
middle.
something
You're
in the
like
middle.
your middle is just gone. Like it's so hard to fucking find your middle.
He's the champ of medium. He is the middle.
You're the champ of no middle.
I think I'm the only voice that matters. How about that?
Fuck. All right.
Yeah,
moving
but
on.
Band-Maid's really good at I think focusing on the sound for an album and then like kind of adjusting it a little bit for the next album
Yeah.
while still
Sure.
maintaining that Band-Maid identity. And
Yeah.
and we're talking about album to album versus like song to song.
Yeah,
right?
that's why I think
It's so
for
hard
me
to
it works so
find-
well.
It's so hard to find your sound like that. It's really impressive when bands pulled off, and a lot of Japanese bands are so good at doing it. Like they have distinctive sounds, which is so awesome. There's so many of them because you got Band-Maid, Nemophila, Hanabie. Now even Maximum Hormone has their distinctive sound. Soka Ninaru has a distinctive tone and sound, no matter what they do. It's kind of crazy that there's so many bands that have a distinctive sound, which is really fucking impressive.
That can also be a catalyst for their downfall, though, where like they end up leaning
champ.
too far into it.
Another album for this crap.
They end up leaning too far into it, and then they're not clever and
all right.
creative anymore, and all you're hearing is that same thing over and over again.
For fuck's sake, champ.
I mean, you gotta have some standards,
Mute your
brother.
mic.
You gotta have some standards in the world. Okay.
I think it's great.
Champ of
Because I'm
standards.
telling
Objection,
you.
argumentative.
Speaking of Nemophila, did you guys listen
Oh.
to Sugar?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Sugar?
Yeah.
Yeah, what about it?
Why do you guys sound so freaking bummed out?
Dude, I thought it was recorded slower when I was listening to it. I'm like, is this a slower tempo? What the fuck? So I had to go back and listen to the original, which I hadn't heard for a long time. I'm like, okay, this is a weird, is like a difficult song to tackle vocally because Surge is all over the goddamn place, and Mayu, as good as she is, doesn't have that kind of quite the dynamic range that Surge.
Well, and they have
has,
Serge
I don't
and
think.
Darren singing at the same time too.
Well, Darren throws out his stupid whiny fucking. I can't stand that dude. not, I don't know him personally, but everything I've seen with him, I can't stand his face or his voice.
His
Anyway.
face or voice. Fuck.
I'm being very critical.
God damn.
It just irritates me immediately. Like, oh, it's a very
Bro, your face irritates me.
Dang.
Didn't that happen with all of us with you too, Ryan?
not consistently, just
Yeah,
occasionally.
before he met us, he saw us pop up on YouTube, and he was like, "God, it's their face."
He's like, I hate their face.
So I don't. Yeah, that's what I did. So anyway, I mean, the original song is cool. I think it was good, but I don't know. I think it was a nice
It's a
song to
very hard pass for me, but I will
Yeah.
say this: the mixes are way better on these covers.
pick. Yeah.
That's all I got for positivity. I'm not.
Did
I
you
have
guys
nothing
watch
nice
the
to say.
live version?
I did not watch the live
No.
version.
Oh,
Didn't know there was a live version.
I did.
Oh,
I just,
Well,
I
I enjoyed it a
respect-
lot.
I respect Nemophila doing these covers because they're gonna get a wider audience for it. But
True.
I will stick to the originals.
They like
For
we were
sure.
just talking about. Nemophila, from what I can think of, probably has the most diverse catalog, of the bands in our,
Yeah.
on our radar. Their last studio album was a like '90s tribute, or
Right.
early 2000s
Yeah.
or whatever. And
And Nemophila's hardcore fans like everything they do.
I mean, they covered freaking Nickelback. you know,
I mean,
And
I
that-
like everything they do. I think everything that they've done outside of the covers in general, like everything that they've written originally, is good.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
they've never written a bad song. It's just a matter of how much does the genre that they're leaning into for that song appeal to you personally. But it's still quality
yeah.
music, no matter what. I
The
don't love their
originals
covers.
are awesome. I love the originals.
I don't love their covers, and the craziest thing is, and like,
don't like their covers.
Mayu is probably my favorite vocalist in the Japanese metal scene right now. Maybe just in the Japanese scene in general. I think Mayu is probably the one that I gravitate towards most. And I think that one of the parts that I don't like about the covers is that I feel like there's an emptiness that comes from like her vocals that's not there in the originals a lot of the time. Like I heard it a lot in the Pantera one, and I heard it more. I mean, not Pantera. Oh yeah, Pantera, the Walk cover.
Yeah, I agree.
And then a little bit more in Master of Puppets, and then this one again, where this one I thought sounded better than those two, at least. But there's I don't know if it's the mixing or if she needs something just to be boosting her voice
This
or
is
something.
What
but
I
it
think,
feels empty.
like what the Warning did with Enter Sandman, where they did a reimagined like kind of version, pretty much. I would like to see Nemophila do that. Maybe they like if they took Sugar and just did it their way. Like, okay,
Yes.
you stay close to the true, but just reimagine. I'm really
Yes.
curious what they would do with something like that.
Yes,
Yeah.
some of their covers. In fact, I feel like a lot of the covers that they do, the thing that changes the song the most is her vocals. But I'm not even sure that that's necessarily like something that they're attempting to do. I think that that's just like what happens. But a lot of the rest of the songs stay pretty much identical to what the original sounds like, which I think that they're just so good. They could be a little bit more, take it a little bit more into their own vein.
To be honest, I can't remember which originals I like. They do have some really good ones that I enjoy, but I can't remember. But I just don't go back to
Nemophila?
their
Nemophila?
Nemophila.
I mean,
Covers. Sorry.
Covers.
Oh, covers.
There's some
Okay.
covers. I said originals.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Oh.
like, you don't remember
couple
any of
of
their
them.
Actually, I
originals?
hate this band. In general.
No, I meant to say covers. My bad. Yeah, there's some covers I liked. I can't remember if it was a Lunacy cover. I think it was one of my favorites by them, if I remember correctly. But I never go back to listen to their covers ever. I just listen to the originals because I really like their original music.
Because their originals are fucking awesome, bro. They're such great songwriters. That's the thing. Like, they just don't. They're such good. Maybe this is the issue. They're such good songwriters that I feel like a lot of the songs that they're covering, those songs aren't as good as what they could possibly write. So
it
I
is
feel like
like
they're
100%,
toning themselves.
dude.
They're toning themselves down. They're making themselves like less good in order to do it. And I just want to hear them be awesome.
That is kind of
I
the thing,
completely
because
agree.
like it would be better for someone to discover them. I know covers can help extend your reach, but wouldn't you rather have that person hear for the first time hearing your original music instead of hearing a cover and comparing it to the original? So that's maybe another thing to consider with doing so many covers is maybe like you don't want that to be people's first introduction to your music.
Yeah, the thing that does
when
though
you
is
have
that
so
that
much
lets people
potential.
know who their influences are. So
True. Yeah.
that'll be like, I dig this band. They obviously dig this band, so let's check them out. And they're gonna. I mean, somebody like fucking. I can't think of the name of that band we were just talking about with Surge. What the hell is it?
System of a
System
Down.
of a
The
Down.
Chop Suey band. Yeah, I mean
The chops.
they do a bunch of. They're all over the place too. So I don't know. I think it's good, as long as the covers are really good. If they're like, I
Yeah.
don't go back and listen to them either. Really.
I'd love to hear them
It's
do
hard for me to. I gotta say this though. Like the thing that throws me off, I keep saying like, yeah, it should be make sure that cover like people that it's enjoyable, I guess, to a certain extent. But then people really love their covers, so I'm like, man, am I the only one that doesn't like them? Because sometimes I feel like that at certain moments. Because I've mentioned like not liking the covers, and a lot of fans I get like backlash going like, "This is awesome, this is amazing," and I'm like, it is. Like I just don't understand it because I don't think it is. And I agree, it could hurt them from listening to more music by them, but at
Yeah.
the same time, it could help, I guess.
Yeah.
But I agree with you, Wave. It could hurt them.
That's
mean,
kind
it's
of that's the
promotion.
point I'm making is people tend to form their entire opinion about you on first impressions. So if their
Yeah.
first impression is comparing you to an original artist, then they've decided, I don't like that band. If they have the
Yeah.
first impression where they hear your amazing original music, then they're going to be like, holy crap, I got to hear more of this.
Yeah, but the question
Yeah.
becomes: are they going to hear your original music if they had never heard that cover in the first place?
Yeah.
Because how
Hey,
how many people have not heard of Nemophila, right? And how much kind of how much did they get themselves out there by doing the covers? Because I would argue that got way more eyes on them than they ever would have gotten
Sure.
by just doing originals.
Yeah, true.
I
Yeah.
think like
I'm
their
not saying there's
baby
a
metal.
right or wrong. I'm just saying why it might bite them in the butt sometimes, you know?
It could, and
Mhm.
I think it has. I 100% believe there's some people that discovered them from maybe one of the originals and decided, nah. You know what I mean? Probably the biggest one that got them fans that I've heard mentioned the most is Maximum Hormone and Babymetal. When those two covers are mentioned, they're like, that's how I discovered Nemophila. I haven't really heard anyone go, oh, I discovered them from the Nickelback cover. Or so I haven't seen any fans. And if you are one of those fans, let us know. If you're listening on Spotify, go to YouTube, drop a comment. Let us know if you discovered them through any of these other covers like System of a Down, Metallica. Because I would be curious to see if any of those covers brought them fans.
Well, you know what? I would have if I had heard one of those first. Let's say like the Nickelback one, right? I think I would have thought just, hey, this is cool. An all-girl Japanese band doing like a male band from the West. That's cool. Like, I probably would have wanted to listen to something else out of them. I don't know if that ever would have turned me off personally, but I guess if you're like the type of person that's like a hardcore Metallica fan, let's say, right? And you heard their Master of Puppets cover before you heard anything else because you were just looking up Metallica content. And you went, this ain't for me. You might never give them another try, like you're saying.
If somebody showed me that System of a Down song first, I would have never listened to him. I would have stopped.
Yeah.
Right there.
Okay,
like,
so
nah.
this is what's interesting is I really enjoyed their cover of Sugar.
All right.
Um,
Tell us more, Wave.
I just got so much joy, and I don't know. I've been so System of a Down was the first rock band I ever heard, so I've never really taken them super seriously. Like to me, they're just hilarious to listen to because their composition style, like they do talk about a lot of serious topics, but it's also like very like a goofy way of composing music that they have. So I felt like Maya was leaning into that absurdity and that goofiness of the song, because it's a song about cocaine, right? But like it's just such an absurd song that when I heard Mayu singing that and trying to like replicate Serge's vocals, it just made me giggle and made me, because I felt like she was leaning into the absurdity and just it wasn't to be taken super seriously. It was just having fun. So I was giggling the whole time, and Saki and Hazuki trading off doing the sugars, I thought was really cute. And
From that perspective, I get it. I can totally enjoy it for that. I 100%.
Yeah, and I think a lot of theirs are, they don't really take themselves too seriously in any of these videos. I think they were, them dressed up as freaking Pantera. Obviously we're not supposed to take it completely seriously. And I think that a lot of this is just them like, hey, we know how to play this song. Like, let's record it while we do it. It'll be a fun little thing to do. So I'm with you. I think ultimately for me, I think that it's a good promotional tool. I think it's probably helped them more than it's hurt them. I obviously can't back that up with any.
Yeah, and I'm curious. That's what I'm saying, guys. Leave us a comment. I'm curious to see who has discovered them through covers or original music and how it happened. So if you're listening, drop us a comment on the YouTube video so we know. It'd be interesting to talk about this again next Sunday after we get that feedback in.
Yeah. They're awesome. Listen, they're awesome. I like their cover. I like their originals better than the covers every single time.
Hey, that's how they would prefer it, right?
How did you guys discover them? I discovered them because of Dissension. What about you guys?
It was a request for me, and it was Monsters. It's the first one I heard.
Live?
I think it was. I think it was It was a live stream, but the audio was fucked up, so it was kind of overdubbed with the studio. So yeah, it wasn't. I don't think it was live, but it was enough where I was like, "What the hell is this?" They had the synth in it and stuff, like nothing,
very
not like the usual
different
stuff. Yeah. But I was like, "This is really cool," and it just went from there.
What about you, Wave? You remember the first Nemo song you heard?
I'm just checking.
You're going through.
Thankfully,
your channel,
there's a record of it.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember.
I mean, I remember.
So it was
what?
a cover. The Trooper, Iron Maiden.
Okay. Yeah, people were requesting covers for me for a while before I actually checked them out, but I jumped into Dissension, and I just I'll never forget, hearing Dissension for the first time. I was like, this is
incredible song.
This is amazing. I didn't know that people were still making this music, new music that sounds like this in 2020 or whatever. And I also didn't know that they could be hot chicks doing it. So I was like, this is crazy.
Here's some little fun facts about them. Iron Maiden, the Trooper, is their biggest video on YouTube. 3.4 million views. And their second video is Dissension with 2.2 million views. So I mean, that's saying something. So
sense.
I'm guessing the Rise is probably coming up on those too. I would assume, because I saw that one.
No, actually, no. Their third biggest video with 2 million views is X Japan cover.
Are the next bunch a bunch of covers before we get to the next
and then
original?
after that, it's an original with Rat. How do you say it? Ready? Right. Yeah, that's with 1.7 million views. I like this because it's cover original, and then guess what? In fifth place, it's Max from the Hormone cover with 1.7 million views.
So it looks like covers probably played a pretty big part in it.
Yeah.
But this is a good mix, though. And number 6, we got Orion, or how you say it,
Orion,
which is their original with 1.5 million views. And then in 7th, we have Iron Maiden with Aces High cover with 1.3 million views. So I like this little mix between
literally
original
goes
music.
back and forth each time.
Yeah, that's awesome for them.
And then Princess was 9, and their 10th spot was Monsters.
So clearly, they're what they're doing is working.
Oh yeah.
In the end, you're not gonna get everyone on the first try. Hopefully, you keep doing it; they'll come around again. I think about that all the time. How many stupid videos I have up on YouTube. How many people visit my channel and see a really annoying video from me, and they're like, "I hate this guy," and then they never give me a chance again.
Definitely.
Before we move on, you guys listen to mizuniukikusa or Toranoko Rammy? I'll mention them before we move on.
I mean, are those? I don't. You
So you
said
didn't-
things that could have been anything.
So you did not listen to
That
it.
was
Wade,
on-
did you?
Are you asking? Yeah, I listened to the second thing that you put up. What was that? What was that one called?
Was it
I just don't remember the titles. You're saying them
Toranoko
as if
Rammy.
that sounds familiar.
Well, Toranoko Rammy, I think, was the second one, which I've been talking about them for a while.
Yeah. Oh yes, that was the one I had already heard. I think that was actually the first song I'd heard by them.
SOS.
That's why I was like, "What the heck? Didn't I listen to this?" Okay, yeah.
Right. So I've talked about them a lot. The other one was mizuniukikusa, which is a newer band I've discovered, and I really dig. And if you like Sukune Naru, check them out because they're a little kind of like Sukune Naru, but at about 75% speed and aggression.
Okay.
So
okay.
the same kind of bass. It's a very bass led music, but it's really cool stuff.
Yeah, that was a really interesting sound with like the stereo guitar work and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I want to talk. Sorry, go ahead, Ron.
No,
I mean, Alan.
No, go ahead. I was just going to say, I'm going to put the playlist
Trevor.
for the songs that we reviewed and talked about right now for you all.
Yeah,
and also, we have a Patreon where we did do a reaction to a song which we talked about. What was it called? Hey something?
Hey Smith was the name of the band.
Hey Smith.
Say my name, say my name.
Yes.
Yeah. I want to talk about that second song though, Ryan. The SOS one.
Yeah.
I loved it, man. I loved it. I thought it was so good. Yeah, like her vocal style is really I mean the video looked cool too, but like the actual song itself, I don't know. There was something about, especially the pre-chorus, whatever they were doing in the pre-chorus, like really just sold me. There was a lot of cool elements to that. I wasn't expecting it, so I'm sorry if I
glad to hear that, dude.
I listened like 7 songs before we started this, so I'm trying to remember exactly what everything was. But I'm pulling this back up now, and this was out of the songs, all the songs that we listened to. This was my second favorite. Right behind Trident. I thought that this was amazing. I would love to talk more about it, but I don't remember exactly what I loved about it, except that her vocals were really cool, and she's got a ton of charisma.
Hell yeah. And this is a band that whatever song you pick by them, you're gonna get that, you know. And there's some interesting solo work going on. There's always interesting. The musical aspect is always just interesting to listen to. If you want to know more about them, I have an interview that I have on my channel, which I'm gonna bring up parts and put on Guys and Guys. But it's a 20-minute long where I send them my questions and they answered them in video. So really cool. The group's really cool and they're super fun. So yeah, if you like that, Champ, you probably grab another song and check it out. They're really cool.
Yeah, it was. Oh, you know what I was thinking of? It reminded me. Okay, so I listened to this right after the Atarashii Gakko song, the Tokyo Calling song, and my first thought was, this reminds me more of Atarashii Gakko that I've heard in the past than the new Atarashii Gakko song.
Oh wow, yeah.
And where I was just like, oh, I'm getting AG vibes right here. I didn't get that out of the actual AG song. Though.
That's funny.
But yeah, they had the cool little guitar lick in the middle. It was for the verses, and it was just like an overall, it like had that jazzy sort of like bouncy feel to it. Here and there. It was just a cool song, man. Cool band. It's definitely worth checking out. Another song.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So I originally reacted to this song on September 20th, I guess. And dude, I'm curious to know what Alan thinks of the mix for this song, because to me it just sounded so good. The way
Are we talking about the SOS one?
Yeah.
That was my favorite one out of the two. That was fucking phenomenal. I love the bass tone. Again, it's another song with amazing bass tone, just like the Trident one. That I was like, I love it when it fills up the spectrum. I thought the mix was really good. And I've heard this band before because they have a music video, right? I think that was my first one that I heard. Somebody had requested it, and it was badass. So it was so cool to check out another song, a second song by them. And I enjoyed it. I actually like this more than the music video that I heard. I think I like this one a lot more, the way they did it. But the way that they mixed it with the guitar tone, I like how they're just complementary to each other, with the bass being so thick, and they kind of kept the guitar tone thin. So like you need both of them together to get that nice mix. And it sounded really good to me.
Well, Mizuki plays strats almost like most of the time, is like strat single coils, which works well with the bass having that broad spectrum of tone to it.
I was wondering why I was hearing some Blink-182 in there. And I was going, what is that? Why do I hear some Blink-182? Yeah, it was exactly. It was Tom's fucking guitar. But yeah, no, great song. I agree with Alan. I think that was the top of the list for all the stuff that we listened to today.
Right.
I was right. So apparently that's the band that you admitted that I was right about your love for punk the first time that you listened to them.
That was Aberina town, actually. It was Aberina
Oh,
town.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm just leading the chat.
But this
Reading the
this
chat.
reinforces it because the more I listen to him, like, oh shit, this is just it's never
Well,
just
because
punk. It's
it's
always a lot more,
punky.
you got to listen to the best in the genre, right? Like, there's always going to be a band in a genre that you're not a fan of that's going to be just amazing. Some people just do punk right.
Not
you know?
only that, but like the most popular one is often not the best one, right? So we're kind of like forced into hearing the most popular one first, and you go, "Oh, that's not for me." But if you would have heard the most creative one first instead, then maybe you would have liked that genre from the beginning.
I see. For me, like a good punk song has like amazing bass tone. So like when I hear a song like this, and it's just like a fucking, you get two of them too, by the way. You get a nice, beautiful, distorted, thick bass tone in the beginning, and then in the middle you get that cleaner one, which is fucking awesome. Because I remember like when I discovered AFI when they were a punk band, it was Shut Your Mouth and Open Your Eyes. And I remember like the bass is so fucking good in it. It's like doing leady stuff all throughout the chords. And that's what this kind of reminded me of, like going back to that vibe, but a little less guitar actually, because they let the bass breathe and stuff with the drums and everything.
I'm glad you guys dug it, man.
Yeah, I definitely.
I didn't have a chance to check out the second song. I missed it in the playlist for some reason. I'm sorry. Right?
If you like bass tone, mizuniukikusa is like fucking monstrous bass tone. I think Peter Lim just saw Toranoko Rammy like last night or within the last couple days. He's got a picture of him up on the X, I believe. So I don't know if he got a chance to talk to him or not. He got a picture with them, so he at least got to meet him. So I'm a little jealous about.
And that's Peter Lim from Maid News Network. If you guys are wondering where to find those pictures and stuff, it should be over there, right?
Probably.
Yeah. All right.
Go check it out for
yourself. Man. These guys, these are bands that we all picked a couple songs of music that we really liked out of the last week or whatever, and we just shared them with each other so we can kind of it's stuff. I think some bands that we're really listening to don't get mentioned, or they get mentioned in passing, and you guys can check out this playlist, and I think it's bands that we would all like you guys to check out. I think the point.
Yeah, and this is like a new segment that we're going to be starting doing. We're just be talking about music and we think about songs a little bit more detail. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Band-Maid news, Ryan.
Band-Maid news.
I know we had Miku letter. I think that's the only thing I
got a letter from Miku. So they have one show left on their 10th anniversary tour. That's Yokohama, the big one, the one we've all been waiting for. And I know there's a lot of people from here going to that show. You bastards! I'm happy for you. So happy for you. So there was a letter for the fans from Miku, and let's see. Finally, the 10th anniversary tour has only one more show left at Yokohama Arena. This tour has been intense and the days have been fast. Starting it from Kumamoto, my hometown, with 2 hours, with 2 tours in the U.S. in between, and here we are today. They still basically can't believe they're still going to play Yokohama Arena. Then she goes on to say, we are steadily preparing for Yokohama Arena, and the set list is, and she puts a bunch of pose in there, teasing, not telling us what it is. And there's also po. So, well, it's going to be really tremendous, Okiji. So, what are they going to do? They've dropped 5 new songs for us. 5?
Yeah, I've heard some people have been able to hear it already.
Yeah, I've heard that too. Somebody.
Not confirmed.
Not confirmed. I will say their last playlist they did at Nagoya Diamond Hall, they didn't play Go Easy or Brightest Star. They've been changing up their set list a lot, but they did play Maggie, the new one, and Shambles. Brought back Rockin' Me. What else are some other? Dilemma, Catharsis, Page. So they went real big in the Conqueror. Their shows, they're really keeping it a lot different show to show. They want each one to be special.
That's awesome.
Did you say anything
That's probably
else?
really refreshing for them to be able to just like change it up so much.
Yeah.
It never gets boring. You just
and frustrating for us. Like,
No kidding,
man.
Well, that's why you got to go to every show. All right.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't miss
she's-
one.
She says, "I'm going to deliver the biggest grupo to you all." I mean, has anyone ever said "moi moi" at Yokohama Arena before? That's all marked as a historic moment together. So I'm excited, man. There's got to be some news of. I hope it's an album. I hope it's an album.
Dude, I was watching Michelle, the guitarist, just posted her review of one of the California concerts from August, and
Yeah.
I was just getting so nostalgic and like, man, I want to go to a Band-Maid concert.
Yeah.
It feels like such a long time ago that we did that.
Yeah.
Wish we could just do it like every weekend.
So it seemed like it was happening for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's it, man. They got their final big show for their 10th anniversary tour, and I don't think there's a lot of seats left for the Yokohama Arena, so I don't know if it's gonna be sold out. It's gonna be damn close. Hope so. That's 17,000 people, man.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
All right. I just want to say, guys, with that playlist, that's a good idea. I mentioned that in the chat about posting it. We'll post it in Discord when Wave was so nice and put it together for us, and you can get that listed definitely before the podcast, so you guys can check it out before we talk about it. That'd be pretty cool. It's a good idea.
Awesome.
Right.
All right, top 10.
You want to
Top 10.
talk about Hanabie?
Oh shit, we have all the quick news. Sorry, yeah, go
quick
for it.
news.
Yeah, go for it.
Quick news. So is this a shared? Like, is there two different covers?
So the Hanabie part is the back cover, and
Okay.
Babymetal is the front cover.
That's
but it's
freaking
pretty
awesome,
badass.
dude. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's really cool. So it's Headbang. Volume 40 has Hanabie and Babymetal on their covers. That's great.
that's
Man.
fucking awesome.
Hanabie
Yeah,
is-
and there's a whole ass interview in there for Hanabie. If you wanna read it, they have a lot to say about.
yeah, it's a long interview.
You know
it's a
what
really long one.
what they feel like kicked off their career, like and like where they're heading in the future and stuff like that. I also find it hilarious that when you translate it, they think that the name of the band is Flower Chill.
Yeah.
But it's worth reading if you really like the band. She has a lot to say.
Yeah, that band's gonna blow up, man. Even
Yeah.
further, they're doing so well.
Yeah. They I think of all the bands that I'm aware of, like they've had the most astronomical rise since I started reacting to them.
It's all because of you.
Yeah, I'm taking 100% credit. I'm just kidding.
I think it's me. I think it's
Dude,
after I started reacting to him.
It's both
Oh,
of you
yeah.
put together.
Same with Atarashii Gakko. They start getting 27 million views after I put a few videos up,
Yeah, that makes sense.
Or they could just be super talented and catchy.
Well, let me ask you, what is the appeal versus the appeal of why is this one specifically catching on more in the West
Hanabie?
than a lot of the other ones?
TikTok, man.
Yeah, well, TikTok, yes, but all the
TikTok
bands
did
are
it.
on TikTok. The question is, why on TikTok is this one succeeding?
Well, because it has a lot of anime kind of references to it. A lot of it's like in that culture. Like there's a huge fan base for kind of that like anime style, and that's what they're being kind of lumped up with. As a band, it's like, oh, this is like. I mean, you could even see it in the fucking shirt designs. It's like I don't know how to explain it. It's like that style that people like or whatnot.
But I
think
would
when
argue that like Band-Maid, for example, does the same thing. Like, in fact, they even had like anime characters for their last music
but
video.
it's not in the same way that they're promoted. Like it's even in their music videos, very out there. Like it has a story to it, right? All these music videos and stuff. I think that's why it's going over well in the West. I'm not entirely sure, but I know when talking to Vicky, she's like, it follows, like she said, like the weeb culture is what she told me. Like it, and she thinks that's why it's doing well. Kind of like what happened with Lady Beard and his group. What was the name of it? Fucking can't remember. When they first came up. Yeah. No, not Baby Beard. His prior thing. Why it took off. Yeah, why it took off so big in the beginning. Of course, until they like separated and stuff. Kind of like that vibe.
Interesting.
I don't know. I
And
see
it's
what you're
very
saying,
unique
Champ.
music,
Like,
though.
out of all the bands that we could say were similar, why is it them that's kind of taken off? Hopefully, they bring a lot more people to a lot of the bands. I think they will.
Is there bands similar to them? What would you guys
That's the
consider?
point I was making my way to, is that they are very unique. I don't think there's, you can point out, oh, it's anime-ish, but other than that, nobody has a vocalist that sounds like Matsuri.
Right,
Yeah,
but are they not all unique? Like, is Gatrix Spin not unique?
They are.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like all these individual bands are really unique in their own right? But for whatever reason, the Hanabie, they are appealing specifically, and Alan might have a really good point there. It might be the weeb culture that's like really sucking people into it, because they're very colorful, and they've definitely got like anime presence to them.
Yeah, and you gotta remember, they're getting a young audience. They're attracting a young audience right out the gate, which is the best thing you could do, is attracting a young audience, because they're gonna grow up with the band, which is always kind of key,
Well, they're always like it's always like a playful demeanor. The clothes they wear, they're not trying to look tough or sexy or whatever. They're just wearing, I don't know what the fuck they're wearing half the time. It's pretty goofy shit. But it's but then their performances, I think this tour shit, man, probably got a lot of people got eyes on them. And when dude, they go heavy, they go freaking heavy.
Yep. Exactly. I was gonna say that with you, Ryan. Yeah, like they don't look tough, but they're tough as fuck.
Yeah.
There's a word that gets thrown around on Twitter all the time nowadays that people just absolutely love, and it is the word unserious. And I feel like it really, it would apply to them. You know what I mean? Like, because as much as like everything that they do is talent driven and heavy and cool, but they also just don't take themselves that seriously, especially in those music videos, man. And people want to have some fun when they're listening to music a lot of the time. They don't necessarily want to have to be thinking deep about everything. Even when their messages are deep, they're still having fun with it.
Yeah, the videos are great, dude. Their videos are really, really good. I think that's probably a big part. Like with pardon me, I have to go. That video was just clever, man. And some of their like oh gosh, what was the one after that? The one that's playing right now.
Be the Gal?
Yeah, that song, that's a weird fucking song, dude.
They're all
really weird.
All their songs are weird as shit, bro.
And then look at this too, because you remember their first blow up was We Love Sweets. That was like the first video that got reactors onto them. So like their number one video is Pardon Me with 4.6 million, and then 2.2 million for We Love Sweets. So there are two songs that like really put them on the map. And it's cool to see that in number 3 we got Be the Gal with 1.2 million. That's insane for a weird song like that. Yeah. And it's super catchy too, though. That chorus is really catchy.
It is. But even for them, like just listening to it, like the video I loved immediately. But just even compared to their songs, it's just an odd song, which is, it's cool to have something that odd be that popular.
That's why I'm so connected. That's why I always ask it the question, because it's just like, you kind of, when you're trying to show somebody something new or something, you kind of try to meld their world in with yours first, right? Like you crack the window before you throw them all the way outside. And I feel like Hanabie just throws you outside, right through that window, right? Like there's no like leaning into it. It's just crazy. So I would expect it to be harder for a lot of people to catch on, but maybe this is just where we are right now, where people just are looking for something that's different, that's fun and catchy, but not boring. And that they are not boring. You know what I mean? And like, maybe this is just what the world has been waiting for.
Maybe it's just the sheer separation of what they look like and what they sound like, dude. When Yukina looks like she's a cute with her little cute hat, and then she just rips your goddamn face off with her growls, dude. It's just so awesome.
So I agree with that in theory, but then I would say that there are like other bands that are like that, right? Like that are like Babymetal. I mean, like
but Babymetal's not screaming. They're not.
No, but it's but conceptually speaking, right? Like you see the cute girls. Wait, let me finish. You see the cute girls up front, right? They're doing their cute girl thing, but then you get this super heavy ass band in the background doing heavy ass shit. So it's the same sort of like.
It's
Yeah.
not the same. It's not the same. It's
Well,
definitely
I'm not saying
different.
it's the
They
s- I'm
have
not saying it's the same. I'm just saying that conceptually, the idea is there. You're taking something cute. It's kawaii metal. You're taking
Yeah.
something fucking cute and you're mixing it with something super fucking heavy. But they're not
Yeah.
the first band that's done that. I mean, Nemophila is cute
I
as
didn't
shit
say they
too.
were. I'm just saying it's
no, but
working.
it's
I'm not arguing with you.
Okay.
I'm
No,
just
what
saying
I'm
in
saying-
general.
with them though. It's the with Babymetal, it's the girls up front in the band. With this, it's all in one person. You know what I mean?
Right,
She's
but
doing
okay,
the
so
screaming.
I guess my argument would be like, why isn't like Gatrick Spin, for example, who also does really catchy music and can get really heavy,
They're a lot
and
less
they're cute.
consistent. They're a lot less consistent
That's
with their
different.
sound.
It's like a different.
Too much
thing.
I would say
variety.
with Gatrick Spin, you don't know what the fuck you're gonna get. Like they're a lot less consistent. They're amazing and I love them, but you can't. With Hanabie, you kind of know you're going to get a little bit of what you expect to hear from them in like every song. With Gatrick Spin, they can go way the fuck right, way the fuck left, and you don't. So I think their diversity in their music is what maybe keeps them. From getting
Hanabie is
bigger.
easier to follow compared to a Gatrick Spin song. Also for the younger generation that likes just something that fucking headbang to and just like not really think too much about what's happening. Just there to have a good time, like you were saying. Gatrick Spin makes your head spin. Like it's some songs you're like, you gotta sit there and think about it, you know.
Okay, so why them over Nemophila?
They're just different. It's a
popularity-wise.
different look. Nemophil's a whole different look. They're an example of a band that's getting big because of they're doing the whole cover marketing and doing their originals, you know. And I think they have a good audience. That's a bad one to compare to because they're doing great. They're also blowing up in their own respect, you know.
Hanabie, they utilize the whole TikTok aspect of it too, which we haven't really seen that with Nemophila.
Yeah.
Well, I was
Maybe
asking
it's just
specifically
better
like,
marketing, you know.
yeah, I was asked specifically about the West because I think that Nemophila is doing well in their own right, also, but they haven't really
It's a different
necessarily
look, though.
caught on over here.
You gotta remember the anime whole like weeb culture thing is really big in the West, and Nemophila doesn't line up with that like Hanabie does, you know. And like I said, I'm just going based off like just what I know from hanging out with Vicky and doing those conventions and stuff. We were talking about it, and that's what she was mentioning. She's like, it just fits it perfectly. So when they did the TikTok thing, it just blew them up. And Nemophila doesn't do that. It's a whole different thing. You know, Nemophila is going the YouTube route, and which is still working for them also. But TikTok can really make that expedited with the younger crowd. You know, because most of the young crowd is on TikTok. And you know how it is when you're young at school and you're showing all your friends. You know, older people like we're not going to school, meeting up with all of our friends every day to show off the video. You know, I think that has a component with it or whatnot.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's different.
I thought Champ was gonna say something back to that.
No. I mean, I agree in theory. Like I said, I'm just asking the questions and seeing what you guys have to say about it because I do wonder, like what specifically. Because listen, we're talking about we're getting very specific about it now, right? Like this is the specific reason, right? Like, but like if we're talking in a more general sense, a more wide open sense, like I think that there are other bands out there that are like really talented that are also we're cute but we're also heavy, and the Hanabie has managed to find a very like they've garnered more fans doing that concept quickly than a lot of other ones did.
I
So
just don't think Nemophila is the same concept as Hanabie.
I'm not
at
saying it's
all.
the same concept, bro. Like
That's what you kind of said.
I'm not. No, you're
So
putting
it's
these
not.
things together. I'm not saying that, bro. Like I'm saying that they're both cute girls doing heavy ass music, right? Like that's all I'm saying. And like I think that their specific, their look, Hanabie, I agreed with you. I think that they move more towards that like anime route, where like you're probably right. A lot of people are probably grabbing onto that.
It's utilizing a market, and I think Hanabie just did it better.
Yeah, and I think that they're being promoted in a different way.
Yeah.
Like Alan said, like I think Nemophila gets promoted more as like we're a metal band, I guess. But then like I guess I look at like something like Style, right? Like the Style music video, where I feel like that looks kind of like a Hanabie video. Like that could have gotten over just as well if they had promoted themselves the same way that Hanabie did potentially. because it is, you get the rap flow on there. You could dance to it. It's metal. It's a bunch of cute girls in colorful outfits. Like, it's not
but
that crazy to compare those two.
No, but the next song doesn't sound like that.
That's where I was kind of going with this. Like, Hanabie does seem like they stick more consistently to their sound throughout the course of the album. This goes back to what we were talking about earlier in the podcast, right? Like, how much diversity do you have in your own catalog on each album specifically? And maybe Hanabie is sticking closer to their specific sound throughout the course of that album, and that's making it easier for people to grab onto it.
Yeah, when you like that song, you go listen to the album and like, yeah, this is in the same wheelhouse. Sure.
All right.
Okay. What do we
Well,
got
I
here?
don't freaking know.
You don't know? Luna C resurrects legacy with re-recordings of albums Mother and Style. Re-recording. Visual K pioneer Luna C unveiled the re-release of 2 genre-defining albums, Mother and Style, due November 29th, nearly 3 decades since the original versions. All 21 songs have undergone rigorous rearrangement for a modern take on the classic repertoire. Multi-Grammy winning producer Steve Lillywhite, known for his work with bands like U2 and Talking Heads and The Killers, takes helm at re-recording every note from scratch. Interesting. I don't know, man. I've heard a lot of Luna C that I really like, if I'm honest. I don't know if re-recording them. What I have heard from them is usually older stuff, and it's pretty dated. So maybe this will freshen up what they have.
I wonder if they're going to actually change the sound of the songs, or if it's just like a remix.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird. I mean, they're re-recording everything, so that's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice to bring your stuff into the modern times, but it would be cool if they would make some adjustments to the songs too, I guess. I don't know. I don't really know enough about their music, to be honest, to know what if they even did change anything going forward.
All right. Nocturnal Bloodlust takes the throne with Single Kingdom. You guys heard of Nocturnal Bloodlust?
Heard of? Yes.
I have not. This is my first time hearing about them. Kings of evolving their sound, and they have done it again with their new Single Kingdom, accompanied by stunning new visuals and a neon fever dream of a music video. So maybe something to check out. Nocturnal Bloodlust. All right.
Yeah. Anytime you if you look up Japanese metal bands, top Japanese metal bands on Google, they come up every time, which is I've always been surprised by, because I've never heard anybody talk about them. I've never heard anybody request them on my channel or anything like that either.
I've talked about them in the past. They're a pretty heavy band. They're like a heavier side, maybe a little bit of metalcore in it. I can't remember exactly. Eric and I have reacted to a lot of their stuff. Nocturnal Bloodlust. I can't remember if they were on tours here in state. I'm probably confusing them with the Acme band. It's along that style of music.
Cool. They sound like they should be heavy ass grindcore music with that name, man. Nocturnal Bloodlust. Brutal.
Yeah.
That's an interesting point. Band-Maid, re-recording's a way to get out of record contracts for copyright. Taylor Swift did the mechanical rights.
Yeah. I'm sure that I'm sure that there's more to it than just being able to re-record it and then you own the IP, but I'm sure that that's part of it too.
All right.
Well, I think the artist will own the song itself, but the labels will own the actual recording. So if you make a new recording, then you own all of it.
Right.
Because they did the labels didn't own that song to begin with. They only owned that recording that you had originally made.
Yeah.
But if you sell your discography like Katy Perry did recently, then she can't even re-record those songs, right? Because she doesn't own the intellectual property to the sound.
Yeah, dude, she did that?
Isn't that crazy? It sold her whole discography, man.
Man, she must be.
She won't have to do anything else ever if she doesn't want to. I guess that's why people do it.
It was actually she sold it for an undervalued price though. People were expecting her to get a lot more.
How much?
I don't remember the exact number, but I just know that people were like, "Oh, that's kind of crazy that that's all she got." But it is, I guess that's the world that we're living in now. Because like somebody else did that on Spotify, right? They like last year or something. It was like an old school like 80s guy. I don't remember. Damn, I wish I could remember this. But people have been selling their entire discographies to these streaming companies and these labels and stuff like that. And
A lot of old timers, Neil Young, and I think
yeah,
Neil Young did, and who else? Did Bob Dylan do it? Somebody, one of these like iconic
I don't
people.
think
Like,
this is
buy
who I
all my
was
shit.
thinking. Yeah, I was trying to think of this too, but it's
Why?
I mean, because you get a big
It's
chunk of
money's
money
the
at
only
once.
goddamn reason, dude. Money.
I mean, you're talking about like really what's the like if you keep it right, like you keep promoting yourself, you can keep marketing that music, and you could keep making the money that's coming out of like the royalties and stuff like that, and you could lease your stuff out. Which is, by the way, if I were a famous musician, that's what I would do. I would be constantly leasing my music out instead of ever selling it. You know, let people have it for 5 years. Here, I'll sell this to you for 5 years, and I get it back at the end of that. You know, for less money, because the people do that too. But like if you're gonna sell your entire thing, I mean, it's gone, it's over. So you're doing that like it's like you know,
Write
you have
something else.
and you hope that people still give a shit, right?
Yeah.
That's your move. But you're selling it to make your life easier by saying, now I don't have to deal with any of this bullshit. I'm gonna get one big lump sum of money. I'm gonna have this for the rest of my life, hopefully, right? And you don't have to do any more work for it. But
Would you guys do that?
it's a scary move. Hell no, not in a million years.
If
Like,
I
give away all
was
your music.
75 years old and I could get $200 million for it, sure. If if I'm 30 years old, 40, and still like writing stuff, probably not. I mean, I don't know. It depends on how if you're just planning on moving forward and you can sell your catalog for $20 million or 30, and you're just going to write new music, you know, I don't know.
I mean, if you don't have to worry about like basic necessities anymore.
If,
That's
if
always
you're
nice.
if you're a band who relies on their old music to remain relevant, then that'd probably be a bad idea.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, but those are the bands that they're probably going to get an offer to buy their fucking catalog, right?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Katy
there. That
Perry,
makes
she's not
sense.
very freaking old to be doing that shit, dude. That is kind of crazy.
That's why I was the most surprised, because you still hear her shit. You know, like
Yeah.
you walk into Walmart and you're gonna hear "Baby, I'm a firework," right? Like you're gonna hear that shit still. It's not like it's completely out of the zeitgeist. So I was really surprised when I read
Yeah,
that.
I mean, if she makes more music, I mean, I don't know. I mean, she doesn't have to. It'd be funny to me if she just disappeared and just went and lived a life of luxury and just like, fuck you guys.
Hell yeah, man.
Thanks for the money.
Sounds like
So
that's what Demi Lovato's trying to do.
So Katy Perry reportedly sold her music catalog for $225 million.
Holy shit.
That's it.
That's
Yeah,
it. That's all.
There's your reason why.
Yeah, that's not a lot, guys. I
And
don't
yet,
know.
but yet still undervalued. Because how much money
It's
do you
a
think
$250 million. Jesus.
Yeah, but you know, some of these artists are billionaires. You know, like they're close to
Taylor
it.
Swift is now, apparently.
Yeah.
Dude.
Like Katy Perry to
$250
me, like, you know, her big songs, like those probably for like, you know, from 2005 to 2015, she might be like the biggest artist, the most, you know, singles that you heard all the time everywhere, right? And then you just haven't really heard from her in the last 5 years.
Why not sell everything for $200 million?
Yeah, I mean, if
Yeah.
225 million, bro, it is a crazy amount of money, but I bet you she could probably have made more.
By the time I retire, that's going to be worth like $100
What?
with inflation. It was just a joke.
I think it goes in the other way.
No, I mean like. Never mind.
Top
No, I got
10.
what you meant, Wave.
Top 10.
Oh, real quick, just another quick news article, just to mention really fast before the top 10. The singer from Bucktick passed away. So
what?
condolences to his family and everything. He passed away at the age of 57. So very sad.
What the heck happened?
So cherished vocalist of the beloved rock band Bucktick at the age 57. He left us tragically due to brainstem hemorrhage on October 19th, 2023. So very sad. So best of wishes to his family.
Yeah. R.I.P.
His management announced that they have plans for a public remembrance ceremony to take place at a later date. So I'm sure they'll get that information out to you guys.
Yeah. Very sad. And this has nothing to do with Japanese music, but since we're on topic, R.I.P. Matthew Perry, Chandler Bing.
Yeah. He was
That-
around the
that-
same
Wait, what?
age too.
Yeah,
Broke
dude,
my heart
that's
yesterday.
nuts, man.
Wait, what the fuck? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah, he died yesterday.
It's like 54
From
or
what?
something.
He had a heart attack in his jacuzzi and drowned.
Oof.
Fuck. Oh,
I know he had
sucks.
a pretty rough time there after Friends or during Friends too. But he's one of the funniest people I think I've ever. I loved him, man. His humor was great. I don't know if you've seen the whole 9 yards or not, but
Yeah,
he's
so
awesome.
funny.
Oh, whole 9 yards is hilarious.
So funny. He might be the person, Chandler Bing might be like the person that I tried in my teenage years to most sculpt my own personality around.
I
You know,
remember you
like I
saying
was
that.
like, this is the guy that I want to be like, you know? So yeah, heartbreaking, man. Yeah, you're right. He had such a hard time after Friends, honestly, but it seems like the last few years he was doing way better. And there were no drugs or alcohol found around his property. So it seems like this was just fucking
Nature.
Yeah, it
It's
said
just-
a source told the Times that prescription medications were recovered at the home, and hence the toxicology will be a part of the investigation. But they didn't find anything on the immediate scene. Wow, that's crazy.
right.
Pretty young.
I'm
man.
going on a Friends marathon right now. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, drugs have like even if you get clean and stuff, you don't know what it's going to do to you long term down the line.
It's always the scariest part. Alcohol too, man. Like you could stop
Yep.
drinking alcohol and 10 years later your liver will just give up.
Yep, the damage to it's permanent.
Well, RIP to these legends out here.
All right, top 10.
Top 10.
Top 10. All right. We're coming in right at number 10 here. Hanabie up one to move into the top 10 with Be the Gal early summer version, which I think
Hell yeah.
was an interview there. What was it? They mentioned why they called it early summer version. And I think just to make people wonder if there's a version 2 or like a different version. And they just didn't have one. They just called it that to make people wonder if there's some other version out there.
I love
I
that.
always
brilliant.
wondered
Which is
why that
awesome.
was called that.
Just to fuck with people. I love it.
It is a very summery song. All
Hey,
right.
half
yeah.
the battle is just getting people to click. So if you create a little mystery around it, why not?
Hell yeah.
The hell was that?
Good promotion.
All right. Down 2 is Queen Bee at number 9. By
Mephisto.
Mephisto. Yeah, sorry. I'm not doing this right. Up 2 is East of Eden with Evolve extended version. Up 2 to number 8. Band-Maid Shambles climbs up a little bit, one spot to number 7. That's good. Like to see that. Radwimps stays at number 6 with Daidan N featuring Zorn.
So
Passcode stays at number 5 with Groundswell, which I really like.
I think we have the wrong top 10.
Huh?
I think this is the wrong top 10. I have a completely different list.
Oh,
I'm
is-
sorry.
this
Oh, here, yeah.
some of it is
Yeah,
different.
here you go. Here's the right link, Ryan. My bad. I think that's the wrong one. I think that might be my fault.
Mhm.
But that was
Alright.
that was a fun snippet about the interview though. That
New
I did.
top
That's
10.
really cool. That's still really cool. Here, I can start it off for you while you pull it. up.
Oh, okay. I got you.
You
Uh,
got it.
in at number 10, up 3 spots is Sendai Komatsu with Ija Nakai. Naika, sorry. Ija Naika. I'm not familiar with this group. Are you guys?
I'm not familiar with this group.
It's a Japanese rock band formed in September 2001 as a comedic side project of the visual K band Nightmare.
Oh,
It
okay.
consists entirely the same members using aliases with the addition of a programmer. Okay,
Okay.
right on.
The picture looks interesting.
It does look interesting. So Sendai Komatsu. Band-Maid is down 2 to number 9. Well, that sucks.
where is the
Just-
picture?
On the
Oh.
top 10.
There we go.
Um,
Okay, they went down 2. Still in the top 10 though. So that's good. Hey Smith is a new entry and they come in at number 8. Wow.
This
Oh,
was our
impressive.
Patreon song today.
Hey, hey.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, we did. We just did a video. We all reacted to that before the show.
That's why I chose it, because it came out of nowhere and just broke into the top 10.
Yeah, man, it's pretty crazy.
So they're from Osaka and they formed in 2006. I didn't realize they were an older band.
Damn.
Wow, same year as
They got that
Scandal, isn't it?
2006 vibes to them, though. I will say that.
They do.
Yeah,
They do.
Band from Osaka. Love Osaka. Jiruka is up 5 to number 7 with the song Venom,
Hell yeah. Fuck yeah.
which
Amazing
Alan
song.
loves
Song of the year.
for some reason.
Speaking of blasting you in the face and tearing it off.
Okay.
Is this about earlier?
Well, I don't wait. Why do you guys not like this? It's such a
No,
good
we
song.
actually did like it. We
Sorry.
were very confused as to why you didn't like the Pale Dusk song, but you loved this one.
Yeah.
That's what you wanted to say. It was.
You
it
can
was
explain yourself.
Oh,
yeah,
Because
it
they're
was.
two
You didn't get
completely
a
different
chance.
songs. They're two completely different songs.
Well, every song's a completely different song from the other song that it's. I mean,
well, that's why. There, you had the answer in you all along.
It was that simple. Number 6, Tomoyasu Hote with song Andromeda featuring Aina the End.
Ooh.
There you go. That
Is
looks
that
like
the
an
one?
interesting
Okay.
video.
Ooh. I want to check that out.
Oh yes, that was really cool,
I love Ina the N.
dude. Speaking of which, okay, never mind. We'll finish the top 10 first.
Number 5, Wagaki Band, Down 1 with The Beast. They've been hanging around the
They've
top 5
been
for a long time.
usurped.
Yep. Who's up here? Ave
Who took
Mujika
What?
is up 1 to number 4.
Oh, they swapped.
Yep.
oh.
It's an all-girl band in the Bang Dream franchise. Right on. Cool. Number 3, Maximum the Hormones stays at number 3 with Koi no America.
Hell yeah.
Number 2, Babymetal stays at number 2 with Matari, which is a
Wait,
great
this
fucking
description's
song.
hilarious for Maximum Hormone. After a multi-year break from releasing full-size content, that's hilarious. Great job, Sim.
It's bite size.
Nice.
I love
Release
that.
date whenever they feel like announcing it. Yeah.
Ah.
Right on. Okay, so who's at number 1? One OK Rock is at number 1 still.
we
Monster
should
Hunter
take that
now.
off the list. Does that even count?
Get out of here.
It's barely rock.
Well, but they're called
What
1
rock is
1
in their
o'clock
name?
rock, man.
Should be called
a
One
crock.
OK Pop. One OK Pop is a better name, I think.
It's called 1 o'clock, right? And
One
that's the
OK
name of their
Pop.
name.
One OK Pop Rock.
Man,
One
just
OK generic pop rock.
talking shit about the legends, dude. This is unbelievable. I don't listen to them though. Right on. So there's
want-
top 10.
I vote for a Ryan Muir review of One OK Rock album.
An album.
A
Yeah.
full album.
I want to see a stream with you just reacting to
The
their
chances
whole
gonna
of
album.
me
request
listening
it
to
just
every
to-
song all the way through are very slim.
That'd be
That
fun.
is-
That's
How
intriguing.
about the first 3 seconds of every song?
Don't probably know what the rest of it was. Ooh. Dang, man.
They
I
have
had
some good
somebody get
songs.
all shitty with me. Not all shitty, but like all snippy in the comments. That's rude because I skipped ahead in the song. I listened to like a minute and a half. I'm like, I know this is what it's going to be for the rest of the time. Then I skipped where I thought the bridge might be, right on the bridge. And they're like, that's so disrespectful. It's like, dude, you can watch me be bored for the next minute and a half, or I can just skip to the fucking end of it and we can move on.
Yeah.
All right, I'll just be the guy. Everybody should check out their music video.
You already been being
Cry
the
out.
guy.
Cry out. Check that song out. Check out
Who?
that music video.
One OK Rock.
Yeah, heartfelt, very well made. It's worth checking out. They got some
Champ-
gems.
Good
Champ has been-
personality.
He has a good personality.
Champ has been all about being that guy this entire podcast.
Yeah, that's all he does.
I just gave a little credit to a band at our first spot, and while y'all shit on it, maybe you're all those guys, and I'm the one that's being nice right now.
All right, guys. Anything else?
I'll check it out, champ.
Patreon.com/guys and guys if you want some group reactions. Like today, we checked out that what were they called? Hey
Smith.
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 Hey,
Say my name. You could go to our TikTok. You could go to our Instagram. You could go to our Twitter. You could go to any of our individual YouTube channels if you want more content from us. But you could also support us by going to guysandguys.com, signing up for our newsletter, check out our merch, all kinds of stuff. We're
You
everywhere.
got a savings, dump it into super thanks. We'd appreciate it.
Yeah, entire savings. Jump into super things.
Wait,
It doesn't even have to be all of it, you know.
did we ever shout out that super chat?
No.
We did
I
not.
lost it.
I told Andrew to highlight it, and it didn't pop up.
Oh, there it is.
I didn't.
Go
look
ahead.
There
at
it
that
is.
like
Jim
Jim
Morrison. Thank
Morrison.
you.
AKA Steve.
Steve.
Yeah.
He says Band-Maid songs sound great mashed up live, and I love that they always use the same equipment for years. Thanks, Jim, for the super chat.
Thank you, Jim.
Hell yeah.
I think we're done.
I think we're done.
All right.
Done
Talk to you
for.
all later.
Peace.
See you, everybody. Have a nice week.
Bye-bye. See you next Sunday.
Don't tell me what to do.
You have a nice week, damn it. Just